And here we go. Friday, November 19th, 2021. Ermanni and Edwards, the bottom line. Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. Mr. Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Good afternoon to you as well, man. I got a chance to watch a little bit of Thursday night football last night. Saw the Patriots and the Falcons, and it was not a repeat of the Super Bowl. It was a butt whooping, as well as I got a chance to watch Steph Curry continue his assault on the NBA. That's what I'm calling it right now, assault on the NBA. Back-to-back games with 9 3-pointers made. That now makes 39 games where he has 9 3-pointers or more. Second place is 9.
Tom Mazawey along with us as well. Good afternoon, my friend.
Hey, guys. On the anniversary of the Malice at the Palace, Steph Curry in town tonight, but we won't get to see him. He is not playing.
Here is
Neither
the
is
danger.
Draymond Green.
And we're going to talk a lot. Why wouldn't Draymond Green play
They're
here?
injured.
The thing about it is, and we can get into this a little bit right now, we're going to talk a lot about football today, but I do want to address the Steph Curry not playing tonight.
All right.
Because this is, I mean, he's on a top. LeBron James and Steph Curry are the two superstars in the NBA that people pay to see. Above anybody else.
Giannis, KD, there's some more in there.
Giannis, okay, yeah, there's some more in there, but I mean,
But those four.
Here's the point. The point is that this is a destination game if you're a fan of basketball in Detroit. You look at the schedule when the schedule comes out, and you know these Western Conference teams are coming to your gym one time per season. And so you rush out, you buy tickets for the Golden State Warriors game on Friday, November 19th, because you want to see one of the best basketball players in the world play.
Yeah.
And he's not playing. And that has not been official yet, but all indications are that Steph Curry's going to sit, had an injured hip. He re-aggravated it last night in the game at Cleveland. And it's just such a total bummer. Right? Yeah. I mean, and it's one of those things, you simply cannot buy tickets to a game for the visiting team.
Not anymore.
Like if you want to buy tickets to see the Pistons, that's one thing. Do that.
Yeah.
But if you're buying a ticket specifically because of who the Pistons are playing, you almost have to do that day of.
Yeah, I mean, two things about it. One, the Detroit Pistons haven't been a good franchise as it relates to a team that you need to beat, a team that you need to measure your muscle up, see where you are in the season, in the schedule. They're never that type of team. They don't play good basketball. They haven't played. In terms of, like, the grand scope of things, the 1 through 5, or even a playoff caliber team. So this is a game in which you're like, hey, you know what, if I got a nick, I got a bruise. Yeah. It's a long flight anyway from San Francisco to Detroit. I'll take this game off. So I understand from both sides. From the Golden State side, hey, man, they're on fire. They're trying to win. They're trying to preserve, especially that Clay hasn't played yet. Steph has exerted a lot of energy. Even if you look at how he finished the season. Like, Steph played amazingly from January all the way through the play-in game where they almost beat L.A. It's almost like he hasn't had a break. So I definitely get it from their side. But from the fans' point of view, from your side as well, it's like, man, like, I really want to see you. Like, I bought these tickets. I went out because I wanted to see Steph. I wanted to see the show. I wanted to see all the 3-pointers and the things that I see online. Dang, I wish I could do it. So I get both sides.
Yeah.
It all started with the word load management. A few years ago, LeBron came up with it, load management. And it's what it is. It's 82 games. Hockey, 82 games. It's a long season. Baseball, 162 games. There's always going to be days off. Miguel Cabrera usually sits out on a Thursday afternoon game. Stuff like that. But I understand, man. It ain't the same as it used to be. You can't look. My kids wanted me to buy tickets to this game.
Stop it, really.
Thankfully, I didn't.
Right.
Because they wanted to go see Steph.
Now, I understand it, but I hate it at the same time. Is that fair?
Yeah.
I mean, can you hate something and understand it at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Steph Curry, if you're in the Golden State Warriors organization, you want to do whatever you have to do
to protect him.
To protect him and to protect the investment and to protect your team for the greater good of your team.
Protect May, June, July.
Yes, exactly.
April, May, June.
As a fan, I hate it. Now, the NBA stepped in at the beginning of the season, and maybe even dating back to last season, maybe not so much last season because of COVID, but this season for sure. If a game was on national television, they're on ESPN, TNT, these superstars are to play.
Yes.
They cannot well, I don't want to say cannot, but they have to have.
It has to be really,
a
really legit.
provable, viable reason
They ain't sitting out on Christmas Day.
to sit out on a nationally televised game. I would like that same sort of edict, essentially, if you only play one game in an arena, like tonight. I mean, you're only going to get a chance to see. The next time you'll get a chance to see Steph Curry play the Detroit Pistons is next season.
22-23.
So I hate it for
Or
the
the
fans.
finals.
Yes, or in the finals. I
I agree with you. I believe that you should have to provide more proof than AB had.
Yeah, right. We'll get into Antonio Brown as well, being accused of obtaining a fake COVID vaccine card.
Yeah, watch who you have cooking your food.
But now the agent for Antonio Brown, and we'll get into this in a little bit, says no, Antonio is vaxxed. So that's interesting. You mentioned Thursday Night Football, Braylon. Just your big picture take on that. New England defense, 4 sacks, 4 interceptions. Kyle Van Noy looked amazing. The defense for the New England Patriots, now granted, they're playing Atlanta without anybody to stretch the field. But nonetheless, the Patriots, the New England freaking Patriots, look like world beaters in the AFC.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like what we talked about Michigan State, what we talked about Michigan. You can only control the teams that are in front of you.
Yep.
And the New England Patriots have played a bunch of bad teams so far. With the wins that they have, they come against a lot of bad teams. With that being said, that doesn't take away from how good that defense is. That doesn't take away from what Judon is, what Maz has talked about for the past couple weeks now. Matthew Judon has come on amazingly strong. I think he has 10 sacks now.
What a hell of a free agent.
Oh, my God. You're talking about a pickup. You're talking about understanding the assignment. You're talking about understanding the assignment. Belichick in the front office of the New England Patriots trying to get back to where they were 2-3 years ago. That's a hell of a pickup. So you see what they're doing on offense. J.C. Jackson the past 4 years have led the NFL in interceptions. He has 30 interceptions in the last 4 years.
Wow.
Just think about that. 30 is a large number for touchdowns. You're talking about a guy on defense having 30 interceptions in the last 4 years. So they're just playing at a hell of a clip on defense. And Matt Jones, he's doing what the offense, I mean, he's doing what the defense provides for him. Like, he's legitimately doing what Josh McDaniels tells him to do. He's not doing anything more. He's not doing anything less. Ramondre Smith is playing really well in that backfield. He's running hard. He's giving them some extra yards, 5.8 a crack the last 3 games. He's just making passes, and he's understanding what's in front of him. They're not world beaters, but they have 4 games coming up to decide if they really are as good as we think they are. Like what I saw last night, here's my take. Atlanta Falcons, dejected ever since the Super Bowl. They're never going to come back. They have not been the same since 28-3, and we could call a spade a spade. Excuse me.
Bless you.
They had, thank you. I think that was a
No.
sneeze. It was a queeze. It was like a cough sneeze.
Same
But since the Super Bowl, in which they allowed the New England Patriots to come back, win in overtime, they have not been the same. They puxed around the regular season. They have not had a chance to make the playoffs again. They revolved the door of offensive coordinators. I don't know what's going on in Atlanta, but it hasn't been good since they lost the Super Bowl. Now with the Patriots, they play a good brand of defense. Mac Jones is a quarterback that understands the assignment. They're getting some good play out of their wide receivers. Their tight ends are making plays. But we will find out if they are really a team about that action. They have the Titans coming up. Their next game is the Titans. The following game after that is the Bills. The following game after that is the Colts with your boy Darius Leonard. And then the following game after that is the Bills again. So in those 4 games, we will see if they really are about their life.
We're going to learn a lot of them.
2-2.
We're going to learn a lot about the New England Patriots over the next 5 weeks because they've got a bye mixed in there. You mentioned J.C. Jackson. How many of those picks should he give Devin McCourty credit for? I mean, right? Isn't that why he's got so much action over there?
It goes to what we talked about when we had Kerry Rhodes on this show.
Yep.
We had Kerry Rhodes on this show, and we talked about how he was able to help Darrelle Revis. Now, Darrelle Revis is a great talent. Was going to be that regardless. But it helps when you have a safety that knows the assignment. He's experienced. He's a veteran. He knows the game. That's what Devin McCourty does.
Right.
Rutgers, him and his twin brother, they know the game. They've studied for a long time at a high level. He left, came back to the Patriots. He allows J.C. Jackson to play in space. He allows J.C. Jackson to play one-on-one and kind of do what he wants to do. And guess what? Devin got a pick yesterday, too.
Yeah, he did. But Maz, that is one of the ways you as a player can make everybody else around you better. Yeah. Just the sheer presence of Devin McCourty allows J.C. Jackson 6 interceptions this year, 30 over the last couple of years. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous how one player can have such an impact on everything that you do.
Great teams have that great player, and New England's got a bunch of them now. And they spent. Remember, it's not like Belichick to spend money. They broke the bank in free agency this year. Last year. They're for this year. So here's what you get. If you're a Patriot fan, you get Tom Brady winning last year's Super Bowl. You might have a chance to win. Bill Belichick might have to win this Super Bowl. It's amazing that these two guys are on the top of their game still. And I got some breaking news. Khalil Mack out for the year. He's going to have foot surgery
Chicago
with the
Bears.
Yeah, they haven't done anything with him, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so interesting to just watch Bill Belichick after one season, essentially.
Yeah.
Kind of reboot that franchise. And look, last night was the first game that I really watched a full game of Mac Jones. He looked so good. There were times where you could tell he's a rookie, though. Clock management, some errant throws, not many. But Mac Jones, man, my goodness, is that, and we talk about this too, Braylon, you've got a player goes to an ideal spot. If Mac Jones was here in Detroit, would he be as good? Maybe, maybe not. You just don't know. He's in a perfect situation in New England, and it's just amazing how much a player could be benefited by going to the right situation.
Yeah, and I watched the game yesterday, and Mac Jones, like I said, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. Like, they're allowing him, and what he's supposed to be doing is throwing the ball throwing the ball to the backfield. Throwing the ball to the running back out of the backfield, throwing 5-yard passes to the wide receivers, throwing little balls over the middle, throwing corner routes when it's third long and they're playing man press, and he has the corner to the outside where he's throwing away from the defender, so you don't have to worry about throwing an interception. Mac Jones isn't doing anything special. Like, he's not. Like, he doesn't throw the ball over 8 yards. You see, the first throw he had over 8 yards, it was intercepted by the Atlanta Falcons defense. What he is doing special is he's trusting what they are telling him to do. He is trusting Josh McDaniel. He is trusting Bill Belichick. Hey, this is what we have for you. Hey, trust us. It works. The system works. The more and more you get comfortable with the system, the more and more we will release the reins. But he's trusting the system. That's what he's doing well.
Hats off to Beer Man.
3-0 on Thursday nights.
He said under. It was under.
3-0 on his official Thursday Night Football plays. Guys, by the way, Carlos Correa and AJ Hinch had breakfast together yesterday that lasted into lunch. We're going to talk to New York Post baseball columnist Ken Davidoff coming up at the top of hour number 2. We'll get the latest on the Tigers' pursuit and the Yankees' pursuit of Carlos Correa. But first, I want to let you guys know about our turkey games. That's right, Woodward Sports giving you the chance to sit front row next week on Thanksgiving Day. Bears and Lions. All you have to do is survive our turkey games. Listen every day to the Morning Woodward Show at 9 a.m., Big D Energy at noon, and the Bottom Line at 3 o'clock for your chance to qualify. The winner of the turkey games, again, gets 2 tickets to the Thanksgiving Day game, plus a turkey. If you think you have what it takes, watch and listen. Today's word of the day is
Shohei.
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 So in the 3 o'clock hour, when we say the word Shohei, be the first person to write it in the chat of the YouTube, our YouTube, Woodward Sports Network. Watch live with us. Type in Shohei in the 3 o'clock hour when we say Shohei, and you'll be today's qualifier. We will do that through next Tuesday, and of course give the winner on Wednesday. This is Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Hey guys, welcome back. Ermanni and Edwards, the bottom line, Woodward Sports Network, 93.5 FM, 99.1, and 94.7 HD2 FM. You can listen to us 6 to 8:30 weeknights on those 3 radio stations, and of course 24/7 over on YouTube. Just search for Woodward Sports, and then we are the bottom line. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We've got Alex Mayer, our Michigan State beat reporter as well. Sam Fisher is better known as Fish in the audio booth. How you doing, Fish?
I'm doing great. It's Friday.
It's Friday.
We all need
Friday.
to be very happy and in a great mood for the weekend.
And it's actually, and to Fish's point, it's a beautiful day outside.
It is
a nice day.
Let's put it all together, man.
It is a perfect segue to the Thanksgiving Day week, is it not, guys?
Feast week. Oh, yes.
The weather is great outside. Family, food, and football. What's better than that?
The 3 Fs. You know, it can't get any better than that. I think it's going to be a great Thanksgiving week. I think it'll lead into a great week. I think the Lions may surprise us. They play the Bears. The Bears are a winnable game. You see Khalil Mack is out, according to Maz. So it may be shaping up to be a heck of a Thursday for us.
Let's do the
And
Lions.
we're doing the pregame, by the way.
Let's hit on the Lions real quick if we could.
Oh, the Lions.
Because I do think they're going to play 2 games in 4 days, okay? I think they're going to win one of them. I don't know which one they're going to win, but I do find that they will win one of them.
They'll win on Thanksgiving.
And I don't know if it's because of the law of averages. I don't know if it's because I don't know why. It's not based on nothing.
They're not winning Sunday.
But just a hunch. You don't think they'll beat the Browns?
No, they're not going to beat the
Browns. The Browns' offense is terrible.
Well, they get Nick
Their
Chubb
quarterback
back.
sucks.
Nick Chubb is back.
Nick Chubb is back.
They're going to run it down
the
their
Lions
throat.
have been good against the run.
Okay.
They have been good against the run.
Who have the Lions seen that was like Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb?
Nobody.
There's your answer. let's just stop there. Like we're not talking about a pretty good NFL rushing attack. We're talking about the number 1 NFL rushing attack in the last 2 seasons.
Dalvin Cook was out when we played the Vikings.
Dalvin Cook was out. The list goes on.
That would have been it.
You know, this could be the end of the Jared Goff regime, though, because he might not play this week. Probably won't play. Here's Dan Campbell on Jared Goff's status.
I mean, it's tough to say. You know, there again, he's basically sat for 2 days, and so we'll know a lot more today. He said he felt better today, so we'll see what it looks like. See if we can get out there and move around a little bit.
Can you imagine if TB12, Tim Boyle, led this team to a victory in any one of these 2 games? That would spell the end of Jared Goff in Detroit, would it not?
The thing is, it's not highly impossible. Like if you look at the games that they've had, and we talked about it yesterday, we deal with definitives. Now it works in my favor, so I'm actually going to agree with Maz. Like they had chances, they had opportunities to beat teams. They could have beat Baltimore, they could have beat LA, they could have beat the Vikings. They could have beat the Vikings, but Jared Goff wasn't able to make the plays that he needed to in those crunch time situations. You have the interception out there in Los Angeles. You had a couple other blunders and missed passes on 4th down opportunities. The Vikings and the Ravens game. Sometimes when you get guys that go in there, they have all the confidence they need in the world. Like guys that are backups, they're like, you know what, I can do this. It is what it is. What's the worst that can happen? You're going to pull me?
Right.
You're going to pull me out. So you go in there with that attitude and you just see things different. You know, you don't have, as Tim Boyle, you don't have the mindset of Jared Goff and the way that they fell out of love with him in L.A. and the way that they gave him away to the Detroit Lions and the way that he's 0-8-1 here in Detroit. Tim Boyle's like, look, I'm getting a chance. I saw some things that Jared did wrong. And then also, you know, I'm going to just let this thing fly.
Right.
So I think you'll see a much better quarterback play, and you'll see a guy that wants to take chances, because what's the worst that can happen to Tim Boyle? So I wouldn't be surprised if he wins both or splits at least one.
He will have a real-life wide receiver out there, NFL caliber wide receiver out there with him this time as well.
He is. Josh Reynolds gets his debut this week with the Lions. The people that like the Packers, and one of them was Beard. He's a big Packer backer. There's a lot of people out there, and I've read some stuff that the Packer fans did not want to see Tim Boyle leave. They liked him as the backup. Obviously,
Jordan Love
is there now, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm anxious to see what this guy can do. He was supposed to be really good. We saw him in preseason. He wasn't very good. Last game in the preseason is when he hurt his hand. He actually drove him down the field with that busted hand and got a touchdown out of it. That's preseason, but I'm anxious to see the guy. What the hell? You got nothing to lose. He's a big guy.
Growing up around here, one of the most beloved athletes universally in the city was the backup quarterback for the Lions, right?
And the backup goalie for the Wings.
Right. Yeah. You know, whoever was behind Tim Shovelday.
Exactly.
And whoever was behind Rodney Pete or then Eric Kramer and then Andre Ware or whoever it was.
It's like the best position to be in is the backup role until you actually get in the game. It's like it's great when they're calling your name. It was like, boo, we want Rodney, we want like that's all great until you get in there and you stink it up, and then it's like, dang, I blew my chance. But yeah, being the backup is the point until you get pulled off the bench and you get put in the game.
This game, Browns and Lions, there's gonna be a lot of running in this game. This game could be a quick game. Could be under 3-hour game between the two teams. They're both going to run it. The Lions' best chance to win is to run that ball. Same thing for the Browns.
Absolutely, especially if Baker Mayfield is dinged up a little bit, right? I mean,
Case Keenum.
Well, Case Keenum too. Like if you're the Cleveland Browns, that's an interesting situation too. Because why wouldn't you sit Baker Mayfield in this game against the Lions? And as I'm asking the question, I kind of think back to, well, the Pittsburgh Steelers probably had that same thought. If, I'm sure our backup quarterback, Mason Rudolph, could easily beat the Detroit Lions. And maybe they don't want to take anything for granted, because this is, if you look at Cleveland's schedule, I mean, after the Lions, there's no easy ones in there either. So this is one for Cleveland that they got to get. They can't be messing around. If they want, they got the Ravens. They got the Ravens twice, back-to-back games against the Ravens. How many times have we seen that in the NFL? There's a bye in there, but it goes Ravens, bye, Ravens, Raiders, Packers, Steelers.
Man.
Bengals, by the way. I mean, that's a murderer's row a little bit there. So
that's what makes them. They have to win.
They have to win this game.
Yeah.
I think the thing about the Lions and what Dan Campbell is doing, especially Aaron Glenn in that defense, I think even with them playing bad football, I think even with them having not won a game yet this season, I still think that teams are giving them the benefit of the doubt, and they're talking about how hard the team plays, especially on defense. So I guarantee you, Mike Tomlin was talking to Mason Rudolph, and he was talking to those guys on offense. It was like, don't look at these guys' record. Like, I've been on teams before where it's like, hey, don't look at these guys' record. These guys play a lot harder than their record shows. They hang in games. They had a chance to beat Lamar Jackson, who's ahead of us in our division. So let's not take them lightly. I guarantee you, those are the things that teams are saying when they're going against the Detroit Lions. And sometimes it pays out that way, where you have to win a tight game or tie a tight game, and then some days they just beat. You get a chance to blow the Lions out. But
didn't work for the Steelers though.
Yeah, exactly. But I guarantee you, they didn't go in there thinking like, hey, this is going to be a pushover per se. Mike Tomlin's not going to allow those guys to think that. They may have thought that, but I guarantee he knocked that thought out of their head. And then when he went and after the game was over, you're like, you know what, Coach Tomlin was right. These guys play hard on defense. They play 60 minutes.
I'm going to give you another trap game. Because when the Lions had the bye, and then they played the Steelers, and we all said, "Oh, Lions got creamed by the Eagles. They get the bye. Now they get the Steelers." And we said something about this game. That I think the Lions could stay in this game, right? How about this week? The Texans, they're just as bad as the Lions. They got one win more. Than the Lions.
Worse.
It might be worse.
I think they are.
They had the bye week. They get a Tennessee Titans team banged up. Titans barely beat the Saints last week. They're on a win streak. The streak's got to end eventually. And now they're only a 10-point favorite over the Houston Texans, and Tennessee is home. I smell a rat in that game.
Yeah,
I truly
could
do.
be. Potentially, could be. I don't really follow the Houston Texans all that much, but up-down theory. Up-down theory.
They don't
in
score.
the NFL,
They score
right.
like 10, 12
they
points
can't score. We'll see what happens with that one.
Yeah, I think what's going on with the Tennessee Titans, it's not going to happen. I don't smell a rat in that game, and the reason why is because of what Jeffrey Simmons.
They might cover it.
What Jeffrey Simmons is doing on the interior lineman, they're not going to allow them to score.
Yeah.
They're not going to allow those guys to score like the Titans are. Like between Harold Landry, between Jeffrey Simmons, and then, with A.J. Brown coming out and talking about his depression, talking about some of his mental health issues and his struggles, I think he addressed it full on. I think he has support. They have other wide receivers that are stepping up. Like he hasn't led the team in receiving in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I think they're playing at a good clip. It's going to be interesting to see on that ground game what they do. It's starting to get cold outside. This is when you run the ball. This is when they lean on Derrick Henry. So it's going to be interesting what they do in the backfield. Adrian Peterson isn't the leading rusher, although he's the starter.
They got Devontae Foreman now, who is supposedly maybe ahead of Adrian Peterson. So watch out for Devontae Foreman for the Titans.
You mentioned trap game. I want to get to the college game if I could next. Is it a trap game for the Michigan Wolverines on the heels of a big win on the road against Penn State? Now Ohio State next week. They'll play on the road against Maryland this week. In the game of the week in college football, number 4 Ohio State hosts number 7 Michigan State. So much on the line. We'll see what Braylon's thoughts are on that one when we come back. This is Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
Hey guys, it's Maz from MyBookie.ag, MyBookie.com, and that's our studio sponsor and the place I put my bets in. Yep, I went with my man, the beer man, Chris. He did it for me last night. He said take the under in that Thursday night football game. I did it on MyBookie.ag. Now, if you're a first-timer and you're putting your money in, make sure you use the promo code Woodward because they will double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. That's right. Use the promo code Woodward. Put 100 in, get 100 back. Put 1,000 in, get 1,000 back. And that's your money to do whatever you want with it. A whole full slate of games coming up tonight. Pistons and the Warriors from Little Caesars Arena. Plenty more games. And, of course, the full slate of college and NFL over the weekend. Go to MyBookie.ag right now and use that promo code Woodward. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. If you have a gambling problem, make sure you call the Michigan Gambling Problem Hotline at 1-800-270-7117.
Bulk of the conversation is going to be about Michigan State, Ohio State, but I do want to get a thought on Michigan, Maryland this week because of the way in which Michigan won last week. Such an emotional win on the road at Penn State. First time since 2001 the Wolverines have won a game at Camp Randall and at Happy Valley in the same year. Now they go to Maryland with all eyes on Ohio State next week. Any potential, Braylon Edwards, in your mind for anything other than a W Saturday at 3:30?
So funny thought. I was actually in that 2001 season when we won at Happy and at Madison. So that it's interesting to be a part of the team last time they accomplished that. But yes, there's always a chance. It's always a chance you could lose any Saturday, any Sunday. It's a chance that you can go out there and you lose. You look at Ohio State, they go down to Purdue, they lose. Michigan State, they go down and lose to Purdue. It can happen, but I don't think there's any real chance of it happening, and I think it's actually the perfect game for Michigan to play going into the Ohio State week. Tagovailoa Jr., I guess you can call him that. He's Tua's younger brother. He throws the ball at an exponential rate. He's averaging 310 yards a game. He's passing well. He's had 7 games over 330 yards passing. We know C.J. Stroud can pass the ball. We know they have a really good wide receiver core, the best wide receiver core in the country, if you ask me. And Jigba, Wilson, and Olave, Chris Olave, who started the year as the number 1 wide receiver. I think it's a perfect match to go in there, get your defense flying around, get Ojabo some sacks, Aiden Hutchinson getting used to getting after the quarterback, changing some things up, showing some stunts, doing some different games. Games are what you run in between interior technique and outside techniques, switching them and switch release, trying to get to the quarterback. It could be a good game and just getting ready, a practice game, a warm-up, not in the sense of warming up against some bums, but warming up against a team that can sling it, can put some points up. So it's a good game, and then also being able to get off the field in the fourth quarter and allowing your backups to get some time in as well. J.J. McCarthy, you talked about him. This is a game I can see J.J. McCarthy coming in, maybe the second half of the third quarter, coming in, getting some reps, getting some plays, and maybe putting some things in for him. So I think it's can be a trap game, but at the same time, I don't think they're going to take it that way. I think they go in there, they play well, they get some experience, they get some reps, and then they get some of the backups in for that second half of the third through the rest of the game.
I watched that game last week, Michigan State, Maryland. Maryland's not a slouch team.
Not at
they
all.
make a lot of mistakes. They really do.
Like 7 turnovers against Iowa.
They make dumb mistakes, but they can move the ball. They really can. And, I don't think Michigan's going to have that easy of a game. I mean, it's 15 points. That's the spread. That's not too big. Maryland is home in this game.
Let me go back to something that you said, Braylon, and it's one of the reasons why I love being doing a show with you, because I think your analysis of this game was absolutely perfect and spot on. Maryland's offense is so similar to what the Buckeyes do. This is almost like the schedule gods couldn't have treated Michigan any better than to put the Maryland game before the Ohio State game because of how similar the quarterbacks are, because of how similar the wide receivers are. Not in talent, but in what they do scheme-wise. It is like almost a precursor to next week's game against Ohio State. Schedule makers did Michigan a favor scheduling this game because I think you are spot on. This is a perfect matchup for Michigan in advance of Ohio State.
I love that.
Yeah, whenever you week to week, what you do is you try to keep the integrity, the core of what you do, the core of your identity on defense. You know who you are. Like, this is who we are. This is what we're going to do. But each week you have to change a couple things. Sometimes you're going to face a team like a Wisconsin team. They're going to run the ball more. They're not going to pass as much. So you won't need as many DBs. You won't need as many blitzes in those games. When you play a team like Ohio State, Maryland, pass the ball a lot more. They get out there. They go 5 wide. They go 4 wide. Sometimes they go empty backfield. You have to change what you do. When you get a chance to play teams back-to-back that are very similar, it keeps things fresh in your mind. Yes. As a young guy, as an 18-year-old guy, a 19-year-old guy, you do film, you have film study for a week going into the Maryland game. When you turn around and play a team, Ohio State, the following week that does a lot of the same type of characteristic things, it's still in your head what Maryland did. It's still in your head, okay, we're going to do this. Oh, you know what? On this play, when I see a wide receiver come out, I know he's going to do this. When I see the quarterback do this, I know they're going to do that. It helps you in that game. So to your point, I think it was a very good idea to have this game right before Ohio State game.
Well, I mean, think about it. I mean,
it fell that way accidentally, but
I mean, it fell that way. I mean, you could have easily played like Northwestern, Wisconsin, Iowa, teams that are just
none of that would have helped
run the football like all week in practice. You're working on stopping the run, which you have to do against Ohio State as well. But essentially, you're getting 2 full weeks of practice against Ohio State because of the way in which Maryland plays offense. I think this is as good a situation for the Wolverines as they could possibly have.
And on the flip side, it's not like Matt said. They're a team that can move the ball. And like you said, they turn the ball over so they shoot themselves in the foot. But they can move the ball. But at the same time, they're not exactly a great football team, which means you won't have to go down to the wire. You won't be tooth and nail down to the wire. You won't get beat up physically. You won't wake up feeling it the whole week and have to get yourself back in condition to play against Ohio State. It's the perfect type of game. It's not going to take it out of you emotionally, where you're going to play this game and now you're emotionally spent. Now you have to turn around and play Ohio State. It's the perfect type of game on all levels, mental, physical, as well as the things that we're going to see moving forward. And you'll get some rest as well. It's the perfect game.
And on the other side, Ohio State gets to play 2 tough teams back to back. That's not a kid. I mean, they got to look at the schedule and say, hey, we got our work cut out for us.
Yeah, that's no cakewalk for sure, right?
What, are you kidding? Purdue, you heard Beer, take MSU and try that money line.
Purdue, then Michigan State, then Michigan. So Michigan's in a good situation going up against Ohio State, seeing what Ohio State has had to do. And I'm telling you, if I was Michigan, I will hope Michigan State doesn't beat Ohio State. Because if Michigan State beats Ohio State is bringing the thunder. They're bringing the thunder, they're bringing the noise, and they're just going to try to upset your season. You better hope, if you're Michigan, that Michigan State loses.
That's a good question that you asked earlier today.
Yeah, I want to ask you. I wanted to ask you about that, Braylon, because as a former player, like for me, I don't know if it's different for you being a player, me just being a student, but it's so hard to root for Ohio State. But I will absolutely root for Ohio State this week against Michigan State because it benefits Michigan.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Michigan, if Ohio State beats Michigan State, Michigan then controls their own destiny. And I think as a fan, that's all you can ask for, right? To control your own destiny. So I'll be out there. I won't put my scarlet and gray on, but I will certainly be doing the fist pumps when Ohio State scores touchdowns.
It's definitely flip side for me. It's a... How do I say this? If from just a fan point of view, from watching the game, being an alum, obviously I want I want Ohio State to win.
Yep.
And I'll tell you why from a fan point of view. I want Ohio State to win because what happened last time Ohio State lost to Michigan State? And then they played Michigan the following week. 2015. Ohio State decided to forget that Ezekiel Elliott was one of the best running backs in the country. Maybe the best running back in the country. Definitely the best running back at the end of it when it was all said and done. They forgot he existed, and he complained about it. And what did he do against Michigan? 240 yards rushing. And they beat the doors off Michigan. I don't want that to happen again. But from a player's point of view, I think you definitely want Ohio State to win too. I think it's 2 for 2. You know, as a player and as a fan.
I didn't think a Michigan person could root for Ohio State. I
could.
thought that was the rule.
But you're rooting for. You're not rooting for.
You're rooting
them.
for Michigan.
You're rooting for Michigan ultimately,
situation
because Michigan State loses
Right?
Ohio State. Now they have 2 losses in the Big Ten, and then you're playing Ohio State, so you control your own.
Wait, should I knock on this window?
You control your. If she looks in the window, you control your own destiny. If you're Michigan, if Ohio State wins, Michigan State wins. Now you're praying to the guys that somehow Sean Clifford and that abysmal Penn State offense and what James Franklin's doing, you're praying that they can beat Michigan State, and that's not going to happen. So you got to get Ohio State to get the
But
win.
we said it. If they both win out, we think they both get in.
But here's the difference. Why leave it to chance?
Yeah.
Why leave it up to the committee?
The committee already likes Michigan. They told you.
But listen, why leave it to chance when you can take care of your own business, right? I mean, if you're winning out anyway, you might as well win out and know exactly what's going to happen to you rather than win out and allow the committee to come up with whatever formula they want, to decide your fate. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you don't want to leave it to chance. You don't want it to get tricky. Michigan State beats Ohio State. You know, then they're looking at Ohio State like, is Ohio State as good as they were? And who knows what happens to Ohio State against Penn State if they lose in Michigan State. Then Michigan now has to beat Ohio State. But now that win doesn't look as good. Us beating Ohio State, considering Michigan State has just beat them already. And then you get people complaining like, well, we don't want to see Michigan and Michigan State in the Final Four. The best thing that can happen is Ohio State for Michigan. Ohio State beats Michigan State, and then Michigan beats Ohio State.
Wouldn't it be great if they both got in? One was a 2 and one was a 3.
So one was a 3,
so they play each other again.
It wouldn't happen. I don't want to say wouldn't happen, but the stars
I definitely wouldn't mind that.
absolutely have to align.
I tell you what, though. Michigan State beats Ohio State, they will be number 2 in the country. I promise.
Well, sure,
you.
yeah, I totally
They will
agree
be
with you
number 2
on
in
that.
the country.
All the way, huh?
Guys,
they will have 2 wins inside the top 6.
How will Michigan State beat Ohio State? I want to get your take on that, Braylon. What do the Spartans have to do to go to Columbus and come out with a victory? And what do you think will happen? We'll get all of our perspectives, plus our Spartan beat reporter over here, Alex Mayer. Want him to chime in on this one as well.
About time. Let's go, Alex.
Absolutely, Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network. The bottom line.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. One mortgage myth we hear all the time is having to choose between a 15 or a 30-year fixed term. At Hall Financial, we offer the modern mortgage to create a flexible term that fits your unique financial situation. Our team of mortgage experts are available 7 days a week to review your goals and customize a solution for you. Get started today with a free 5-minute mortgage review at 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Hey gang, I want to let you know about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Holidays are coming up, right? Aren't you going to see some family that maybe you haven't seen in a long time, maybe some friends you haven't seen in a long time? Don't you want to look good? Here's the deal. Walk on in to Lady Jane's, and minutes later you will look handsome and clean. Ooh-wee. Walk in, sign in, sit down. Before you know it, you're done. And then you look like a hero. You look like the most handsome person you'll have ever seen in the mirror, ever before. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
That might have been the worst Lady Jane's read I've ever done in my life.
That's because you were excited to get back to the Michigan State game.
I love you. Just come on in here.
Right.
Everybody's friendly. We're at the 15 in Woodward location. Lady Jane's.
Get your hair cut, and if you sit right behind me, you could get on the cam.
That's right, the Maz cam.
There you go.
Most important camera position.
Alyssa will take great care of you.
That's right. Michigan State, Braylon, a 3-touchdown underdog, essentially.
Right.
What do they got to do to beat Ohio State? What do they have to do, and what do you think will happen?
Okay, it's a good one. I think I'll start with what I think is going to happen. Based on what I've seen all season from Michigan State, what I've seen in the last 4 weeks from Ohio State, I think Ohio State will win. I don't know if it's going to be by 3 touchdowns, but I think Ohio State will win. Probably be a much closer game than that, maybe 10 points. And the reason why I think that is Ohio State is just unstoppable on offense. I haven't seen them being stopped yet. I just haven't seen it. And not only are they great, we talk so much about the passing game. You talk about Olave and Jigba. You talk about Wilson. You talk about C.J. Stroud coming on strong as a quarterback, as a freshman quarterback at that late in the year. They have a running game, too. We don't talk about that. Mine Williams and Travion Henderson.
Oh, I love Travion Henderson. I mean, that dude's a freaking beast.
They have taken over in the Big Ten since Corum has been banged up, dinged up, and Simon Haskins. They've taken over for the rushing attack in the Big Ten. So they have a balanced offense. They have a balanced attack. Mine Williams is a bowling ball who can run and make you miss. Travion Henderson, you can't catch him. He's fast. He runs well between the tackles.
He reminds me of a mix of if you put Ezekiel Elliott here and Mike Weber here, I feel like Travion Henderson is here.
With a sprinkle of J.K. Dobbins. With a sprinkle of J.K. Dobbins.
Where do they get these guys from?
I don't know, but that was actually pretty good because you had J.K. Dobbins in there, and they're interchangeable. What's his name, too? Beanie Wells. You put Beanie Wells in.
Yeah.
But for Michigan State to win, we've talked about this, they got to get after the quarterback. They got to get after C.J. Stroud. I don't think he's been in a position to be nervous, to feel pressed, to feel the pressure is on him, to fear making a play, making a throw. Like, it's so easy for him right now. Like, if I could me at 38, I could sit back there behind the line and do what he's doing. But you put
could I at 42.
I don't know about all that, but I don't know about that. Alex Mayer, yes, I don't know about you, but you got to see Panishuk. You got to get to the cornerback. You got to get to the quarterback if you're Panishuk. You got to get to the quarterback if you're this defensive line. Trotsky's made some plays over the last couple games for Michigan State. You got to get to him. You got to make it uneasy. You got to make him uneasy. Make him make mistakes. He's a young guy. Young guys always make mistakes. I don't care how good a young guy has been.
True.
I don't care how good a young guy has been. Young guys will make mistakes in big moments. Now, how many they make is up to you and up to them. You got to get after them. And in the secondary, you got to man up. You got to challenge your guys. And challenge these guys in the back end if you're Mel Tucker and the secondaries coach for the Michigan State Spartans. Challenge these guys in the back end. Challenge these guys because you're not going to be able to double coverage. It's not like you're going to be able to play safety over top, corner at the line of scrimmage because they have so many wide receivers. So you're going to see a lot of man up. You're going to see a lot of man-on-man, one-on-one, mano-a-mano. You're going to have to challenge the gusto of these guys. But it starts up front, get after them. And then on offense, don't be afraid to come out the gate throwing the ball deep. Don't be afraid to come out the gate with Reed and Naylor. Don't be afraid to get Kenneth Walker the ball out of the backfield. He catches well out of the backfield.
Let me get to Alex Mayer on this because you talked a little bit about this in your piece on woodwardsports.com, and we invite everybody to go check it out. Who will Michigan State need in this one? And it might not be who you think.
No.
Yeah, so we obviously know our superstars, Payne Thorne, Jaden Reed, Kenneth Walker, our explosive guys on the offensive end will show up in this game. But like you said in my article I highlighted this week, we need more guys to step up in this one. Braylon, you mentioned Jacob Panishuk. The pass rush is going to be crucial for the Spartans in this one. C.J. Stroud is a Heisman candidate, but he's also a freshman. If they get to him early and often, maybe force a quick turnover, take the crowd out of the game, that's huge. But Panishuk, he's been kind of dormant the last 3 games. He hasn't showed up much in the stat sheet. So, if he gets a couple sacks in the first half, forces a fumble, deflects a pass, that's huge for us. And staying on the defensive side, Angelo Gross plays safety opposite Xavier Henderson. You guys have obviously heard of Xavier Henderson before. No? Haven't heard of Xavier Henderson?
No. Who?
Well, he's a...
That's a joke, people, by the way.
He's heard of us.
He's heard of us.
But Angelo Gross is a sophomore that plays opposite of him, and he's a tackling machine for us that goes really unnoticed. He had 16 tackles in the Western Kentucky game. Granted, they were thrown all over the place in that game. But Angelo Gross can really tackle well. And if he matches the intensity that Xavier Henderson will bring in this game, that'll be huge for us. And then going over to the offensive side, another guy that I think needs to step up, Trey Mosley. He's our third wide receiver. We don't know if Jalen Naylor is going to travel for this game, but Mosley, he's good for 3-4 catches every other game. I want to see 6, 7, 8 catches and a touchdown out of him this game. Give Payton Thorne some options to throw to and make him comfortable.
You know what I also want to see out of Michigan State, and this is a player that I want to see, Cal Haladay.
Yeah.
Cal Haladay. You know why I want to see Cal Haladay? When you watch Michigan State, when they were really good at defense in 2017, 16 and 17, they're really good at defense, they had a staple guy. They had a guy that you could depend on. They had a leader. That was Bocce Jr. You had Bocce Jr. and you had Willikins.
And Chris Fry.
Those guys were like you can depend on them. Bocce Jr. was in every tackle. He was going to be there from start to finish. He was going to lead. He was a guy that led by example. He was a guy that you felt his energy and you want to rally around him. Cal Holiday is a player like that. I saw him play really good in the Michigan game. He was in every tackle. He led the way. They fed on his leadership. Am I not right? I want to see him have that kind of game against Michigan State. If you have a guy like that step up, especially in the middle, Cal Holiday can be a difference maker, not only in terms of making plays, making tackles, but also in terms of leadership and bringing that energy for the Michigan State Spartans.
Alex, let me ask you what kind of game Michigan State has to play, because I think they're most successful when they play hurry up and start slinging that ball all over the field, right? And try to play quick like they did against Michigan. They started to succeed when they played quick and started slinging that ball around. Can you do that and try to outscore Ohio State?
You have to stay ahead of the first down as Michigan State. Stay ahead and keep them off balance. Be able to use at your disposal what you want to use at your disposal. Even though they got down to Michigan, they still were able to run the ball Walker when they wanted to. They still trusted in the fact that they could run the ball, and they still ran the ball well. They still made plays in the passing game. They were able to stay ahead of the clock and stay wherever they wanted to be. In order for them to have success, they can't be behind even though they have the ability for the big play, for the pass, and to score points. They don't want to be in that position. You want to have everything at your disposal. Like, you want to be able to call run when you want to call run. You want to be able to call play action on first down when you want to call play action on first down. That's how Michigan State stays in this game and stay ahead of the dominant markers.
Yeah, Braylon, you said it best. I mean, it seems like MSU virtually has to play a perfect game. They need to write a script for this game. You know, score touchdowns instead of field goals, control the line of scrimmage, execute on special teams. The thing that, like, this is probably the first game this season where I am, like, anxious for it to get here, because the news this week has all been about...
Oh, what are we, chop liver?
The news this week has been all about Mel Tucker and his new contract, but this is the biggest game of our season, and if we come out flat, and like you said, we have to be one-dimensional, start playing from behind, pass the ball, get away from Kenneth Walker III, that's when we've already lost the game, in my opinion.
Here's something. This is to the Michigan State Spartans. This is to the fan base. This is to the football team. Here's something. You want to be talked about continuously in the national spotlight, right? You want to win. You want to be talked about in the national spotlight. You want to belong in the national spotlight. You want to always be up there. You want them to always say, hey, you know what? Michigan State belongs. You want that to be the case, right? Here's your opportunity. Here's your opportunity. Like, point blank period, yes, all those other things, you have to be perfect and all that. The hell with that, Alex. This is what you have to do. Do you want to be in the national spotlight? Do you want to belong? Do you want people to say you belong? Go out there and beat Ohio State. I don't care how you get it done. Go out there and beat Ohio State. If I'm Mel Tucker and I'm telling my guys, you guys want to live forever? You know, you can have one of those movie moments. You guys want to be immortalized? You guys want to live forever? Well, here's your moment. You beat Michigan already when Michigan was 6. Now you want to beat Ohio State. Ohio State is 4. This puts you into the spotlight. This puts you in to the number 2 position. You were in 3, lost, and now this takes you to 2 to get right back. That's the conversation Mel Tucker has.
Maz, I want to bring you into this conversation next. Also, I want to tell you, if I'm a Michigan State fan watching this game tomorrow, one thing I do not want to see. Very important. I'll let you know what that is next. This is Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Woodward Sports is giving you a chance to sit front row on Thanksgiving. All you have to do is survive our squid games. Nope, our turkey games. Listen every day to the Morning Woodward Show at 9 a.m. Big D Energy at noon. And the bottom line at 3 p.m. for your chance to qualify. The winner of turkey games will get tickets to the Thanksgiving Day Detroit game.
Hey, it's Thanksgiving. Shouldn't you be in Detroit losing a football game right now?
Plus a turkey. So if you think you can master our turkey games challenges, watch, listen, and win. Make sure you're following @Woodward Sports on all social media, or go to woodwardsports.com for additional chances to qualify. May the best turkey win.
Oh, I didn't know that we were doing me. My apology. If you guys want a career in an industry that is always essential, Well, here's how you do it. Visit northwesterntech.edu. I'm talking about the heating and cooling industry. It is always available. It is always essential. And northwesterntech.edu will help you make $77,000 out of the gate. Just visit northwesterntech.edu.
We're going to be talking some baseball
Pay attention.
at the top of next hour with Ken Davidoff, New York Post baseball columnist. Get his take on Carlos Correa being courted by AJ Hinch and the Detroit Tigers. Also, the Yankees on him as well. We'll see what he thinks about where the free agent shortstop from Houston will end up and get the latest on that. But we're talking Michigan State, Ohio State right now. Maz, I want to get your thoughts on this one.
I got a quick thought on this game. Watched a lot of football on my day. There's only one way Michigan State wins this game, and it's called keep away. You can't let Ohio State on the field. You got to play Super Bowl 25 football. Bill Parcells played the greatest offense in NFL history, the Buffalo Bills. And what did he do? He held the ball for 40 minutes out of the 60 minutes that they played, and they won. Yeah, on a Scott Norwood wide field goal, wide right in Super Bowl 25. The only way you're going to beat Ohio State is to control the ball. You cannot go up and down the field with these guys. They'll kill you.
So it's kind of similar to the one thing that I teased before the last segment. One thing I do not want to see if I'm a Michigan State fan this week is the kicker. I don't want to see the field goal kicker, and I don't want to see the punter. If you are anywhere north of your own 40-yard line, you're going for it on fourth down. Because it doesn't matter whether you give Ohio State the ball at your 40-yard line or their 30-yard line. Chances are they're going to just drive right down the field and see you there in 3 or 4 plays anyway. So you almost give yourself a better opportunity.
I like it.
If it's 4th and 3, 4th and 5, heaven forbid 4th and 6, and just take your chances.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe throw deep.
And we all know that you cannot kick field goals against Ohio State. So, wherever you are on the field, if it is some type of 4th and less than 8, essentially 4th and less than 7, I'm going for it. I ain't kicking a field goal because I'm not trading field goals for touchdowns. I'm just not going to do it. If you had some crazy stout defense that would give you a chance in this one, I understand it. But you don't. Your defense, and I'm not saying this to be a jerk, is one of the worst in the Big Ten. It's one of the worst in college football, right? It just is not a very good defense. You're not getting any pass rush, and you're not getting anything on your back end. Your secondary is terrible. And you know what Ohio State does better than anybody in the country?
Score points.
They throw the ball deep. They've got 3 wide receivers that could start in the NFL today. So how are you going to stop that? I don't want to see the kicker, and I don't want to see the punter, period.
Yeah, the other side of that, too, is, let's call a spade a spade. Ohio State they aren't world beaters. They aren't this amazing force that's unbeatable. We saw them only beat Nebraska by 9. We saw them only beat, who else was it? They played close to the wire. It'll come to me. We saw Tulsa put 20 on them. We saw Purdue score 31 points. Now, we saw that. So there are things that can happen for Michigan State. What I want to see is, let's see how good Mel Tucker is and his defensive staff is coming up with a scheme. I want to see a game plan. I want to see a game plan. Like Alex said, this is a freshman quarterback. If you get after him, he will make mistakes. He will turn the ball over. He will show him different looks. Show him something that he hasn't seen. Go back to your defensive coordinator days with the Cleveland Browns. Go back to your defensive coordinator days with the Jacksonville Jaguars, with Ohio State. Show me what you learned under Kirby Smart. Show me what you learned under Tressel and Saban. Put it together to show me a defensive strategy and a game plan that can corral a young guy. Because, yes, those guys can start in the NFL, but guess who can't start in the NFL right now? It's C.J. Stroud. Also, that offensive line for the Ohio State, they're not world beaters either. They don't have any guys that are all conference right now. They don't have any guys that are, on Mel Kiper's radar watch in terms of how good they are as offensive linemen. So they can be beat on offense. The key is showing them different looks and getting after him, like Alex said, often and early, because you've seen games where they struggle. Nebraska, they struggle a little bit against Purdue as well, and Tulsa.
Go ahead, Alex.
Mez, I couldn't agree with you. Mez, I couldn't agree with you more that Michigan State needs to play keep away in this game to have a chance. And Ryan, you said that Michigan is like they received the gift from the schedule makers that they're playing Maryland and then Ohio State.
I think it's a gift. Yes.
Well, guess who just happened to play Maryland and is now playing Ohio State?
Yeah, it's
Michigan
very true.
State. Okay, so Tua Tagovailoa threw for 350 yards in that one, but we kept it. We got back on the right track from the Purdue game. He threw for 350 yards, but we got gashed on screen passes for 105 yards in that game. But we got off the field. We were 3 for 13 on third down as opposed to 11 for 18 on third down in the Purdue game. So, the secondary and the defense, they're in practice this week, and they're feeling a little bit better about themselves. So Maryland was a good warm-up game for them, and I'm hoping that the secondary shows up to play tomorrow because, like you said.
That's a great point, Alex.
Good stuff, Alex.
No, seriously, that's a great point. The only caveat I would say
is OSU don't make the turnovers like they do.
They don't make the mistakes, and, it's one thing to understand the scheme, but then when you add talent to the scheme, it could be different. But there's no doubt about what you're saying is absolutely true. They're seeing a lot of the same schemes, a lot of the same tendencies that they'll have. So really, really excited to see this weekend of college football, and it's a noon game, which I absolutely love. I am here for the noon game.
I'm sleeping in and then just having a bowl of cereal, watching the game. Awesome.
Good stuff.
You're gonna watch the game or put your Christmas lights up?
Sunday I'm doing the Christmas lights.
So you do it during the Lions game?
No, do it Sunday morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
About 9 o'clock. 9 a.m. we'll get out there. Probably be out there till about 1.
Oh, that long?
Yeah, oh God, yeah. I get it going.
How come you don't hire Gross Point? They usually bring in the outsiders to put lights up.
Well, because number one, I like to do it myself. I think it's a great thing to do with the kids. Oh, man, they get so excited out there.
Did you already rake the leaves? They done?
Oh, yeah, blew the leaves.
Okay. That's right. You guys get to blow them out to the street.
Blow them out to the street.
That's a nice thing.
Let somebody else pick them
That's
up.
a very nice thing. That's a nice thing. We have to bag them, break our backs.
Get out of here. You got to bag them?
In the shores?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Man.
If I went one more block over, I would have been, in the Gross Points. But I'm one block over, so we got to bag the leaves. We got to bag the leaves. Gross Point's got everything going for them. They got the schools, they got the parks, and they got you could just blow the leaves to the end of the street. Braylon, is that the way it works where you live?
West Bloomfield? No.
I think it's a way a lot of people, many municipalities and cities
Come on,
do
Shores, let's go.
Yeah, West Bloomfield is slightly different than that.
It's not, you got to bag the leaves in West Bloomfield?
No, we have landscaping people. I'm doing this stuff.
Yes.
I ain't bag leaves out.
How much did you make your first job?
$15,500.
I made $20. How much did you make in your first job?
It's public record, right? Oh, that's great. Guys, we're going to talk to Ken Davidoff coming up in...
I made $7 an hour at Western Market.
Right. Going to talk to Ken Davidoff coming up, New York Post baseball writer.
He's one of the best.
I think a lot of Tigers fans almost believe this is a layup slam dunk. There's no way that the Tigers are not getting Carlos Correa.
Oh, mama.
Right? I mean,
what?
I just don't think you could be that sure. I think all the stars are lining up for them.
We're a mid-market team. We're not an upper echelon town.
Mavs, is Chris Ilitch going to open up 10 years, $300 million?
I can't see it. After he got burned with Miggy, and I know Miggy gave us a lot of great years, but
right.
I mean, look where you're sitting on
10
now.
years, $325.
I mean, come on, man.
I'm just interested to see, and it'd be good to ask David off this, is because is he worth it? And when I say is Carlos Correa worth it, the 10 for 300, is he worth it in the sense that you heard the comments started coming out, some of the things he said about Jeter, some of the other things, and just he just seems like a guy that may be a mouth. Like, don't get me wrong, he's definitely great in the postseason. We've talked about him, and we talked about him all throughout the postseason, what he was able to do Houston the last 7 postseasons.
Remember when he pointed to his watch?
Exactly, it's time. That's what they do. That's what they do for him. It's his time. But kind of stole that from Damian Lillard. But it just seemed like will he come with some issues as well, or will it just be great? I'm spitballing, man.
Yeah, I know.
We'll talk some baseball with Ken Davidoff. We'll do that next. Also going to get our picks in. Chevy Will was like 10-2 last week.
Oh, Chevy Will.
Something ridiculous like that. So Chevy Will is coming back with us at 3:36. Also, guys, in the next hour, I want to ask you this question. And it's not about Mel Tucker, but it's about college contracts. Because of the NIL, where anybody could pay college coaches, will it be more financially appealing for coaches to coach in college instead of the NFL? And I've got some numbers to back that up. We'll do that all next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We're recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Everybody, it's Maz for the Foaling Warehouse and Hamtramck, our good hosts, the best in the business. Chris and Noni, make sure you tell them that I sent you down to see them. What's foaling? Well, it's bowling with a football. Yeah, you get to throw a football at a bunch of bowling pins and have some fun with your friends and family. Have a corporate party, team building there as well. 2 ways to play, $10 open, unlimited play, or you can rent a lane for 2 hours, 10 people for $120. Private lane reservation is available. They have over 100 beers. They've got a fully stocked bar, and they got that $2 mystery beer machine. You can spin the wheel and see what kind of beer you're going to get for $2. You bring the food or have it delivered at the Folding Warehouse. Come get your foal on. And make sure you check them out at foldingwarehouse.com.
Welcome back to Woodward Sports. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. Talking a little baseball now. Everybody here in Detroit, I think universally, wants and expects Carlos Correa to sign here with Detroit. It's been about 5 years since the Tigers have spent money. They seem to be, based on last year, ahead of schedule in terms of competing for a playoff berth. I don't think anybody expected them to be as competitive as they were last year. So that accelerates the timeline a little bit. And then, of course, you see this picture of Carlos Correa having breakfast, which extended into lunch.
So it's brunch.
With Tigers manager AJ Hinch yesterday. What's that?
Who took the picture?
I don't know. Somebody.
Somebody snitching.
Right. Somebody who knows.
Snitches get stitches.
Exactly. Right.
Not AB chef.
Right. So a lot of people would love the services of Carlos Correa. So let's bring him in. New York Post baseball columnist Ken Davidoff, also a University of Michigan grad.
That's all that matters right there, baby.
We got it. Ken, how you doing? Thanks for the time.
I'm doing great, Braylon. It's an honor. Thank you. So I'm, a little older than you. I'm more from the Desmond, Derek Alexander era, but it's a pleasure to be on.
No, the pleasure's all mine. And to be honest, it's crazy. Derek Alexander was my favorite receiver, actually, at Michigan. Derek Alexander was my favorite. And I had a chance to meet Derek Alexander, and let's just say that it didn't go as well as I wanted it to. So I'll make the story short. Derek Alexander's from Detroit. He wore number 1. He was a great wide receiver. If he never gets hurt, Desmond Howard never wins the Heisman Trophy. That's a known fact. But with that being said, I loved him. I loved what he did. I loved his athletic ability. I loved his route running. I loved him in the NFL as well. Ran into him a Thanksgiving game. I was with my stepfather. This is my senior year after I just finished breaking the records. And I ran into Derek Alexander and I guess his girlfriend or wife, I don't know. And I told my stepdad, I said, Dad, that's Derek Alexander. I said, that's why we're number 1 in Michigan. And I went up to him and I was like, yo, Derek Alexander, what's going on? Braylon, how you doing? Oh, hey man, what's going on? And kept walking.
Really?
Like, that's all I got.
Oh,
God.
Like, that's all I
Damn.
got. Like, not only am I from Detroit as well, I also wore number 1. I also play wide receiver.
He's jealous.
I thought there were so many similarities that it would just be like hey, what's going on? How you doing? Like, whenever I see guys, I'm excited.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't get the excited that I wanted. So, but things happen.
I'm sorry.
How about that? Well, great story.
But it's
there.
great to see you.
Never heard that. Hey, Ken, let me get into some baseball with you. Look, there's about 5 shortstops out there, and 8 or 9 teams need a shortstop. It seems logical for the Tigers in this natural marriage with Carlos Correa. What do you make of the lunch yesterday? Where are the Tigers in line there in their pursuit of Carlos Correa?
Look, I do my annual free agent predictions, and I predicted the Tigers to sign Carlos Correa. So I think it's going to happen. I think the Tigers have you guys noted, have had quite the rebuild here, a lengthy rebuild, and created massive payroll flexibility. Their only real commitment prior to Eduardo Rodriguez is Mickey Cabrera, a couple more years there. And it seems to me they are primed and ready, not only to spend, but to spend at the right time. After a nice climb last year, this past year, to make that jump into bona fide contention, and that can happen with someone as good as Carlos Correa.
Ken, what's it going to take? What kind of contract are we talking here? We always talk about 10 for 300 or 10 for 325. Is that the market?
I think it will be, yes. I think he's going to surpass what Francisco Lindor made from the Mets, which was 10 years. $341 million. I think Correa has a strong case. I think he's a superior player to Francisco Lindor, and he's a free agent. Lindor signed that when he wasn't a free agent, just with the Mets. So I do think it will surpass that figure.
Ken, here's a great question. Carlos Correa, we know we want to sign him here in Detroit. We know that where he will take this franchise. We know him and AJ's history. What happens if they don't get AJ? I mean, what happens if they do not get Carlos Correa? How far does that set the Detroit Tigers back? Or does it set them back at all?
It depends who else they get. Whether it is another shortstop. You guys mentioned there's 5 elite shortstop free agents. That's Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, Javi Baez, and Trevor Story. Or if they sign a couple more starting pitchers, or if they sign a big outfielder, it is a deep free agent class. So, yeah, I think Correa is the way to go, and I think that is what will happen because it will give them that instant credibility. But I don't think they're toast if for some reason they fail to sign Correa.
Hey, Kenny, I got a little beef with Carlos. Not only was he on that Astro team that cheated, obviously. He's a bit of a show-off. He hits at Minute Maid Park, which is not Comerica National Park, as everyone knows. He's not going to hit like he hit at Minute Maid. He's a great defensive shortstop. Speaking of that, I didn't like the shade he threw at Derek Jeter. I really did. What business of it? Why would he say that? He was a kid when Derek Jeter was winning all those championships. I just didn't like that.
Ken Maz named his dog Jeets. So that, by the way.
Yeah,
so
the backstory on the angle.
That's the backstory.
I mean, give me a break. Shut your mouth.
That was an odd choice to make as a free agent. I agree. I happen to agree with his assessment. I do think Jeter would win fewer Gold Gloves in this age and the way we measure defenders now. But yeah, why say that when you're trying to get many teams, including the Yankees, engaged in a free agency?
Why would Carlos Correa have gotten Jeremy Giambi out in that AL divisional playoff? Would he have done that?
I would say yes, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
He's a
I'll
pretty
shut
brilliant
up then.
shortstop.
Hey, Ken, let me ask you about the Yankees. The Yankees were one of the teams that went down to see Justin Verlander. They're one of the teams reportedly in the mix for Carlos Correa. What are they going to do in free agency? Now, I know Verlander went back to the Astros and Correa linked here to the Tigers, but what about the Yankees?
Well, they need a shortstop, whether they wind up – I don't think Correa is coming. I think they're just talking nice because that benefits everyone. I just think, A, there's too much history there with the sign stealing, and B, I just think they're better off with a lefty hitter like Corey Seager or with someone ready to move out of shortstop quicker like Marcus Semien, because they do have a couple young shortstops they like, or they could just go the cheap route, stopgap like Andrelton Simmons, because they also definitely want a starting pitcher. Excuse me, you're right, they ran on Verlander, didn't want to go that second year, and they also are in the mix for a center fielder.
Ken Davidoff joins us, New York Post columnist and writes for baseball, obviously, knows his stuff. Tigers, what else can the Tigers get? Let's say Carlos Correa does not come here. What else do you think the Tigers need? Do you think they compete this year for a playoff spot at all?
That's a fair question, Maz. Yeah, would they win 77 this year?
Yeah, they hit the over.
Yeah. So, I think they should get into the 80s, and I don't think the 90s is impossible. Eduardo Rodriguez was a nice first step. It was a bold move. High risk. Might not work, but I like it. I think it can work. And, I think whether they add another starting pitcher or two, I think shortstop is the way for a team looking to spend this winter. Shortstop is the way to go. There's no doubt about that. So if for some reason they whiff on Correa, you've got those other guys I mentioned right in there.
Hey, Ken, let me ask you just a big picture question about baseball and the Atlanta Braves, who won the World Series this year. 60 days before they won that World Series, they completely changed their outfield. Like 4 new players out there in the outfield. And they were, Maz, 4 for 4 out there. Ooh, just your take on how that all went down the last 60 days of the baseball season, and then Atlanta cultivating it with a World Series.
Yeah, I was happy. I picked them to win before the season started. So
wow, there we go. Michigan stuff, man.
Getting that right. Yeah, Michigan, man. Excuse me. Credit to the Atlanta Braves, because they could have folded. That you mentioned Acuna got hurt. That was on the Saturday before the All-Star game. They could have taken that All-Star break and said, we're done. Let's sell some guys, and kind of reboot and plan for the future. But to their credit, they said, we don't want that. We don't want a boring summer for our fans and for us. So they got the 4 outfielders you mentioned. They got a catcher. They got a relief pitcher. And it did undoubtedly rejuvenate the team. It wasn't immediate. They still struggled for another week or two after the trade deadline. But once they kind of figured it out and kicked it into gear, they got it done, obviously. So it really is a tribute to them for not giving up, for trying. And it should hopefully be a lesson to other teams to take the similar risk, because the reward is very high.
Ken, here's a good question for you. Yesterday, the AL and NL MVPs both came out. Obviously, Shohei unanimous in the AL. And then in the NL, you get Bryce Harper winning. You have a lot of people that are upset. Do you think as though Soto or Tatis Jr. got snubbed, or do you think Bryce Harper should have won over those two?
I did not vote for that one. I voted for American League Manager. But I thought Harper was a very solid choice because of how well he performed in the second half. When the Phillies scratched and clawed, and they ultimately missed the playoffs, but they were in it until the final week of the season. And Harper gets to take a lot of credit for that. Soto played for a team that did give up at the trade deadline, rightfully so, probably. And the truth is, he hit his best after the deadline. So we're picking nits here, but you have to do that to pick the MVP. I think Soto hit at his best in the first half of the season, maybe they wouldn't have had to trade away all those guys. And when you talk about Tatis, you're talking about a guy on a team that really just fell off a cliff, team with huge expectations entering the year, and the most disappointing team of the year. Now, statistically speaking, obviously they would have been worse without Tatis, but I think it's awfully hard to give a guy an MVP when he was on that kind of team.
Hey, Ken, let's go up the street to the Mets. They get their new general manager from the Angels. 2 days before they signed this guy, the Angels signed Noah Syndergaard for $20 million. And he's going to probably comeback player of the year. Will the Mets ever get it right, man? I mean, I know they were set back all these years with the bad ownership and Bernie Madoff and all of that. Now they got the richest owner in sports, probably. Will the Mets ever get it right? And did they get it right by hiring this Epler guy?
That's a broad question. I would say, look, what do you think our species has? Another 100, 200 years at least?
I'm not sure.
Before we go down the toilet?
I'm not sure.
So, I'll say they win one World Series at least in the next 200 years.
All right.
Yang thinks it's before then.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I might bet the under myself. Is Billy Epler the right hire?
Yeah.
I think given where they were in this process, it was an embarrassing search.
Oh, my
Let's
God.
not kid ourselves here. They whiffed on a lot of people.
Theo.
Where they are in this search, I thought Billy Epler was a worthwhile risk. I got to know Billy quite well when he was on the Yankees. Very, very bright guy, a good leader. He whiffed in his opportunity with the Angels. No one can dispute that. But sometimes you get a second chance, and sometimes you succeed in that second chance.
What happened with Theo Epstein? I mean, isn't he the slam dunk here?
He wanted no part of it.
That scares me.
Hey, Ken, final thing for you. Michigan, Ohio State next week. Who you got?
I hope Braylon can appreciate this. Tunnel vision. Maryland. Tunnel vision.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. I love it.
Great stuff, Ken. We certainly appreciate your time. Ken Davidoff, New York Post baseball columnist there. Follow him on Twitter at Ken Davidoff. U of M class of 93 as well. Go Blue.
Baby.
All right, great stuff. Hey, we're going to take Go Blue.
See you,
Thanks, Ken. We're going to take a break. Come right back. When we come back, is it now much more appealing, based on what happened with Mel Tucker at Michigan State? Is it financially more appealing to coach in college than the NFL? I've got the numbers to back that up and the reasoning behind it. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
I guess I can watch those 30 for 30s on the Mets.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Hello.
I'm glad that Ken answered that question, because, like I said, a lot of people were questioning whether Harper deserved it over Soto and over Tatis. Tatis had 42 home runs in 130 games, but it made a lot of sense in terms of what he said, in terms of when guys played their best, what guys were doing to get their guys to the playoffs. And it seems like Bryce Harper was the one that, was the driving force for them, ultimately almost getting in. But shout out, congratulations to Bryce Harper. Bryce won the NL, and my guy Shohei Ohtani, who we talked a lot about when we first got on.
Shohei.
We talked about Shohei, man, and he won the AL. I don't think it could have went down any other way.
I think he would have won the AL Cy Young, too. I thought Shohei Ohtani could win the AL Cy Young.
Yeah.
I know Robbie Ray won it, but what this guy does is it's unbelievable. It's spectacular.
Just for the hell of it. That's why I hate baseball, because baseball is definitely the sport that won't do anything for the hell of it. Just for the hell of it.
Give it to him.
They should have gave it to him.
Right.
This was his year.
Agreed. Because you won't see anything like this again.
You won't ever see this year again. Ever.
They dropped the ball on that.
They did. They usually do.
Yeah.
Guys, let me ask you about this coaching situation now. And this is not a Mel Tucker story, but this is a coaching story here because of the NIL, where anybody can pay your salary.
You get some money. You get some money. You get some money.
Like anybody affiliated with with any sort of school, you could pay. Like Matt Ishbia could not. I don't believe there's rules in place to say that Matt Ishbia, if he was such a fan of the Detroit Lions, could come in and supplement Dan Campbell's income.
Right.
Like if he wanted to say, Dan, we want to make sure you're the Lions coach, like Sheila Ford can't grab 2 or 3 of her favorite billionaire friends and say, hey, let's all pool our money together and pay Dan Campbell $15 million.
No, because then it goes
keep
again.
him here.
Because then it sneakily goes around the salary cap.
I don't even know if that's legal to
That's
do.
what I'm saying. No, you
I don't
can't,
know if there's no salary cap for coaches. You can pay them whatever you want. But it's just it's just not going to happen. In college, you can do that. And what happened at Michigan State now is going to happen everywhere around the country. Every college football coach worth their salt now is going to have people knocking on their doors and giving them raises. And like you guys said yesterday, and I thought back on this, maybe Michigan State got a bargain on Mel Tucker based on what is about to happen. But if it got me to thinking about NFL coaches. Alex, if you could pop up some NFL coaches' salaries, and if you're listening on podcasts or on the radio, here's some salaries for you. Top 10 coaching salaries in the NFL. Bill Belichick, $12.5 million. Urban Meyer, $12 million. Pete Carroll, $11 million. Sean Payton, $9.8 million. Only 4 coaches in the National Football League make more money than Mel Tucker stands to make at Michigan State. So guys that are paid lower than Mel Tucker. Where's my little sheet here?
Except for everybody on that list. Except for one person, everybody on the list has something in common.
They won
the Super Bowl. Or at least Ben. John McVay didn't win.
John Harbaugh, Matt Rule, Sean McVay, Mike Tomlin, Andy Reid, Bruce Arians, Frank Reich, Dan Campbell, Mike McCarthy, Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel makes $3 million with the Tennessee Titans this year.
Not after this year.
You don't. But see, that's where I think you're wrong. Frank Reich makes $4.5 million with the Indianapolis Colts. Mike McCarthy makes $4 million with the Dallas Cowboys. Do you think that Jerry Jones is giving Mike McCarthy a 120% increase in salary?
Not a chance.
Not a chance. Do you think Dan Rooney Jr. or whoever it is giving Mike Tomlin a 25% increase in salary?
Yes, I do.
I do not. I don't think he is at all, because you know what?
Rooney's are the cheapest franchise, and they're the cheapest owners in the business.
Because you know where does it stop in the NFL? In college, it doesn't have to stop. It can be an endless stream. You want to make more money? Go get another booster. In the NFL, if you give
there's a cap.
If you give Mike Vrabel a 400% increase and make him pay $12 million, you know what? You know who's going to want more? Bill Belichick, and then Pete Carroll, and then Sean Payton, and then John Harbaugh. It eventually has to cap somewhere. All of these NFL owners are not paying upwards of $10, $12, $15 million for their coach. It's just not going to happen. But you know who may pay that? It's a college team.
Yeah.
College, it doesn't matter what you make now, because you can go to your 4 or 5 biggest donors and say, I need about $3 million here. I need $4 million here. But before you know it, you got an extra $50 million in your bank.
Yeah, also the NFL is different. Also the NFL versus college is different from the point that in the NFL, once you get a situation set up, now don't get me wrong, a great coach will help you win games. It will help you get to playoffs. It'll help you do certain things in certain moments. But you have so many layers in the NFL. There's a head of scouting. Then there's a scouting department. Then there's a president. Then there's a GM. Mm-hmm. Then there's the head coach. Then there's the coaches under the head coach. So if a coach starts complaining and says, well, what about this coach? What does this coach go? Well, go. You're fine to go try to seek that benefit somewhere else. But it ain't happening here. Right. In college, it's more so it's the head coach and it's the coaches underneath him. Like, they do the scouting, right? They do the recruiting, they do the coaching, they put the system in play. So you do a lot more in college. I actually think they deserve more in college.
Look at Dan Campbell. Guy makes $4.1 million this season, right? Doesn't Dan Campbell strike you as the perfect college coach? Perfect motivational speaker,
no doubt.
College coach, going to go into your high school, some high school junior or senior's household, talk to their parents or whoever, right in the eye. I'm going to take care of your son.
SEC.
He'd be great at Texas.
Yeah, exactly.
Texas would pay Dan Campbell $12 million a year. Why would he stay with the Detroit Lions?
I wouldn't.
And that's the point. You could go up and down this line of NFL coaches. Yeah. Look at Mike Vrabel. You don't think Mike Vrabel could take his resume and go get $12 million at Texas or LSU or USC?
The only difference is when you're talking about the NFL versus college. In college, you got recruiting. You got round trips. You're always on the road. I mean, road trips. I said round trips. I abbreviated here. Sure. You got road trips. You got managing kids. Like right now they deal with NFL players. You're dealing with grown men. At least most of them are. Some of them are not. But when you go down to that college level, man, guys like Vrabel played in the NFL. He's used to the NFL. Now he's coaching in the NFL. He's used to that. He ain't trying to go coach 18-year-olds.
But would you coach 18-year-olds for $12 million a year? A 400%.
What am I making now?
$3 million.
$3 million? How old am I?
Yeah, he's in his early mid-40s,
talking
right?
about Vrabel?
Yeah, he's in his mid-40s, as is Dan Campbell. I mean, those are two college guys. Those are two college guys to me that could go right now and triple their salaries in college. And that's just two of them.
But you're in the NFL.
Like Mike McCarthy. But again, this is about getting paid.
How much money do you need?
I don't know.
I want to be in the NFL.
You're creating generational wealth for your family.
I want to be in the NFL.
Okay.
That's my goal in life.
Okay.
That's what I want to be a part of.
That's fine.
I think every kid strives to be in the NFL.
So you'd rather be in the NFL getting paid $3 million versus being the head coach at Texas for $12 million? See?
You don't think? Look. You don't think USC is ponying up 10?
I got you.
Let me tell you. You don't think USC is ponying up $10-12 million for their next head coach?
Yeah, they are.
They are.
Of course,
they are.
So, would you
Cost
go
of
make?
living is expensive.
Would you go make $6 or $8 million in the NFL, or would you go make $12 million?
Wow.
For the USC Trojans.
That's great, man. I wish we had a coach on right now. That would be great. It's a great question, man.
I think it just depends on where you're at in your life, like how old is you now, like wife, family, kids, how old, what are your overall goals, aspirations, dreams, things of that nature. Because if you like a guy like Vrabel, like you said, he's young. He has opportunity. There's still time there. A guy that's older, let's say a guy like Pete Carroll. Right. Pete Carroll ain't going back to college.
And neither is Mike McCarthy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Neither
is Mike McCarthy. But I mean, but you know who?
Matt Rule, shoot, I would go back. Like if it doesn't work out, hey, I go back.
I'm telling you, that's one guy I was thinking about is
Matt
Rule,
I'm going
who
back.
has no quarterback whatsoever. And granted, he's got Cam now, but I don't know what he's going to give you. That thing could be 2 or 3 years away
Look
from
what Nick
finding a
Saban
quarterback.
did. Nick was like, Nick dipped his toe in that water. He said, "Oh hell no, it's too cold." And he went right back to Alabama.
Look, before Jim Harbaugh got hired at Michigan, the talk was Sean Payton was a name. Do you think Sean Payton would go to college now? He's got no quarterback there in New Orleans. He might want something different. Would he go coach USC?
Nah, not Sean
for
Payton.
$15 million a year.
There's got to be something that the NFL is giving these guys that college can't. I don't. Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be, man. If Uncle Herb is making $12 million, the rest of the guys that are coming into the NFL are going to make that money now too. The lesser coaches, like a Mike McCarthy, he's lucky he's got a
lesser
job.
Coach. He won the Super Bowl in Green Bay, and I'll be damned, he may be in the Super Bowl this year too. You don't think he's going to want 8-10? You don't think he's going to want at least a 100% increase in his salary?
I just don't see
when
him
you're
getting
guys
it.
like Mel Tucker getting $9.5 million a year. If I'm Mike McCarthy, 2-time Super Bowl champ, granted I'm putting them in there this year because I think they have a chance. You don't think he's going to want at least $8 million?
And Jerry Jones will tell him to pound salt.
Exactly.
And Mike has been the two. Mike's been the two.
Right.
He went the two. He won one.
I'm just kind of putting it out there. I mean, this is to me.
That is very, very good topic. Excellent topic.
I just think what happens with the NFL level, like it's hard to get to that level of NFL where you're used to the NFL level play. And yes, money. I get that. Let's take the money off the table for 2 seconds. It's just tough when you deal with like professionals versus going back and dealing with college kids. Like that then begins the issue and the problem. Like dealing with the professional level, guys running routes, guys blocking, guys knowing schemes, guys showing up, guys being disciplined, guys knowing what to do versus having to go chase guys, make sure they're going to class, make sure guys aren't staying up all night doing that. It's just a different level. Like you can sacrifice that headache. Like I feel like the headache of the college kids is worth each $1 million. You're like, you know what? If you're giving me 12 and 8, I'll sacrifice those extra $4 million because I don't feel like dealing with those $4 million extra worth of headaches. I'll stay with this $8 million over here.
Hey guys, gonna take a break. Real quick. I want to ask you quickly. Juwan Howard re-signed his college contract, 5-year extension at the University of Michigan.
Glad he did it before the game.
And it got us to thinking about the top football, basketball coaching duos at each university, because Michigan and Michigan State both got some good ones. We'll show you the top ones. We'll do it next. And then Chevy Will coming up. Our pick segment sponsored by Les Stanford Chevrolet. We'll do it all coming up next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Gypsy vodka, gypsy vodka, gypsy vodka. Say that 3 times. 3 times. How did I mess that up and not mess the first part up? An amazing vodka brand with Adam and Mike. These individuals have made sure that you are going to get the best premium vodka. You know why? That's because Gypsy vodka is corn distilled 6 times. That's right. But not only that, it also is infused with artisanal spring water. Oh my God. And look at the artwork on the bottle. Look at the artwork on the bottle. Ryan, you see that artwork right there?
Oh, I see it. Ooh,
look at that artwork, man. Look at the picture. Look at the
Beautiful.
glass. I love the bottle. Nothing says more about we care about the quality of our brand than a nice bottle. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. You know who probably wants some of that?
Who wants some of that Gypsy vodka?
Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr wants some of that?
Did you see Steve Kerr just walk right by here? Yeah. Yeah.
It would have been great if you knocked on the window.
I know. Yeah. Isn't that something?
Make sure if you're drinking that Gypsy vodka, you drink responsibly.
You probably had Townsend, right?
Yep, that's right.
All right.
Townsend, Daxton.
That means Steph Curry might be right now at Birmingham Roast.
He might be.
Fish,
He
go
might
check
go
it
get
out.
a coffee over
Do you guys
there.
think he would actually be around here? At least Steve Kerr or somebody?
So, I do those, absolutely. They're right here around the block. So I do the Making the Cut segments every week for our pregame show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it was the end of...
I was on it last week.
Yeah, right. It was the end of baseball season, beginning of football season, and all the Kansas City Royals were in here getting their haircuts.
Oh, wow.
They were on Making the Cut in like week 1 or 2.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they were my guests for Making the Cut because they were playing the Tigers, and they had...
Was that this year?
That was this year.
I missed it.
Yeah.
Nah, it's always something about this area. I remember when I first started hanging out here back in, I don't know, it was 05, 04, 06, you found out the Townsend, the Stones, whenever the Stones, Aerosmith, all the big bands, they all stay at the Townsend.
Yeah.
So I used to hang out at the Townsend, and you run into those guys, man. They were there.
I'll tell you,
Mick
man.
Jagger, Keith Richards.
If Jared Goff was walking around, he'd probably still have his bodyguard with him.
You like that, huh, Maz? You didn't like that, did you?
What are you so scared of, kid?
You didn't like that.
No, I didn't.
Well, if you've never been to Detroit before, just turn on, you know what I mean? It's like you have these images of what you think Detroit was.
This ain't it.
And come walk around for a minute. You got the beautiful tree lighting ceremony downtown as well. You can have a couple of 100,000 people downtown. See how beautiful the
Is that
city.
this weekend?
That's tonight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 7:30.
Are you the Grand Marshal?
No.
No,
they did
but-
not ask me this year.
Joey Namath's emceeing.
Joey!
Stop
So that's what I hear.
Our own Joey.
Really?
MC it.
He's great at that
He
stuff.
is.
If that's,
He's the mayor.
if that's true.
I got that from my sources.
Oh, good.
That's true.
That's absolutely terrific. Hey, guys, before we get to our pick segment, just a couple of minutes on this because I think it's fun. We never made mention of Juwan Howard signing a 5-year extension with Michigan basketball. In my opinion, he is the best college basketball coach in the country already. He's got everything you could possibly want. A love of the university, a strong ethical background, a great NBA background, connections, coaching, caring for the kids, treats all those student athletes like they're his own son. If I had a kid playing college basketball and could send him to any college coach in the country, I would send him to Juwan Howard. And that's not because I'm a fan of Michigan. That's just how much I believe in the guy and how much I look up to the guy. I think he's absolutely fantastic, an even better person than he is a coach. But all that said, you throw this up now in Michigan and Michigan State, 2 of the top teams in the country in terms of
Combos.
Combos. Football and basketball.
Coach.
Mel Tucker and Tom Izzo they have on this list as number 1 compensation-wise. Number 1 compensation-wise. Mark Stoops, John Calipari second. at Kentucky, then Alabama, Nate Oates, Nick Saban. Oklahoma State pays their coaches. Why? Because of T. Boone Pickens over there at Oklahoma State. Mike Gundy and Mike Boynton, right? Then Arkansas, Baylor, Virginia, Oregon, Michigan comes in at number 9 in terms of what they pay their coaches. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think
it's a pretty cool list.
It is a good list, right?
Juwan Howard's definitely on his way. I don't think he's not the best coach in the country now. He's on his way to becoming that. I don't think I could put him over individuals like Jay Wright, who have 2 national championships and 3 appearances, and these are all within the last 7 years or so. But he definitely is on his way. You look at what happened like last year. You give him Isaiah Livers last year. If Isaiah Livers doesn't get hurt last year, they not only win the regular season, they win the Big Ten tournament as well, and they definitely would have matched up much better against UCLA. They beat UCLA, and I think they could have matched up well against.
Hey, Jay Billis agreed with you.
Yeah, 100% against Gonzaga. So, but he's on his way. If they can beat Seton Hall. Man, I watched that game on Wednesday, and the biggest issue, and Fish and I talked about this.
It's the rematch of the '89 championship game.
It is. It was. Fish and I talked about the Seton Hall game. They lost that the day that they extended Juwan Howard. Big thing is them on the glass.
Seton Hall's good.
They don't get rebounds. They don't get offensive rebounds. They don't give themselves second chance opportunities on that glass. And anything they bring in very weak. They call it weak sauce. Seton Hall was throwing every shot that Michigan came in. The only person that can get a shot up was Dickinson. Anybody outside of Dickinson that tried to put anything up on the rim, Seton Hall was swatting the ball all around there. They were getting offensive and defensive rebounds. They have to clear their backboard, their rim work. Like, that's what they got to clean up because they look bad inside the paint, very bad.
They still got PJ Carlissimo over there? No, they don't. I'm only kidding. Only kidding.
His next still
Hey,
messed
Seton
up?
Hall's a good basketball
Love
team.
the Pirates.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Chevy Will. It is our pick segment. Guy was 10-2 last week.
Ooh, that's not bad at all, man.
Ooh-wee. Ermanni and Edwards.
Bring it,
Sports
Chevy
Network,
Will.
The bottom line.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Hey, gang, I want to let you know about Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue. You want to buy a car, don't worry about that chip shortage. They've got the car for you. Just head on in to our friends at Les Stanford. Any make, any model on their pre-owned lot as well. I'm telling you, they can get you anything you want. Maybe you don't want to buy a car. Maybe you can get through the next couple of months with one car in the family, down a car. Maybe you're coming up on your models. They'll buy your car from you, and it doesn't matter whether you own it or lease it, because Les Stanford Chevrolet is your authorized lease return center. Hey, maybe you're coming up on your miles and you want to get the equity out of your car. Go sell it back to them. Again, doesn't matter if you own or lease it. Right, Maz?
I want a Blazer. I want to give him my Equinox for a Blazer.
That's what you're going to do. You're going to
Chevy
hit
Will
Chevy Will coming up in just a little bit. For more, log on to lesstanford.com, lesstanford.com, or call them today, 313-565-6000, 313-565-6000. Les Stanford Chevrolet, find new roads. All right, it is time now for the segment that most people, I think everybody in the gaming industry, points to and looks to and goes back to when they're making their picks on Saturday morning and Sunday morning. You're looking around.
You're too kind.
Yeah,
you're too kind. I try to do what I can do when I can do it. I try to do it. I appreciate you.
Braylon has been on fire this season. Maz, you've been pretty good too. But our guy Chevy Will from Les Stanford Chevrolet has been knocking it out of the park. 10-2 last week. So we bring him back today for our pick segment, brought to you by Les Stanford Chevrolet. Chevy Will, how you doing, my friend?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me on again. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Will the Thrill.
There we go.
So, Will, what's happening out there today at Les Stanford? How's it going? What's happening?
It's been crazy. All of a sudden, we got like 2 truckloads of Blazers that showed up out of nowhere. Just saying. We got lot full inventory. I mean, one of the few dealerships that, all of a sudden, boom, new car inventory is back. I mean, few trucks in stock, obviously over 200 used cars in the inventory. You know, you said it best, I think, when you said authorized lease return center. So I'm very fortunate to, be employed here. We're having fun.
Note to self, they got some Blazers in.
Let's do it.
I got Escalades for you, man.
All right. I appreciate it. You know, I'm a big guy, man. I'm in the market. I'm in the market.
All right, great stuff. We're going to get to the picks now. Hit the music there, Fish, and we'll get going. What do we got here? We'll do college basketball first. College football. First up, I almost gave Braylon a heart attack. Here we go, guys. This week's games. Let's start. Alabama, a 20.5-point favorite at home against Arkansas. A battle of the ranked opponents here. Braylon, you're first up.
Alabama.
Maz?
I'm sticking with Bama. It's that time of the year now.
Yeah,
it's time for them to open it up.
Exactly.
Chevy Will, what do you like here? Alabama, 20.5-point favorite over Arkansas.
We got a no-brainer here. We're obviously going with Bama, aren't we? Roll Tide all day. That's what we're going to go with once again.
Roll Tide. They got to keep winning to set up that dream matchup with Georgia in the SEC championship game. All right, Cincinnati, number 5 Cincinnati. How much style points do they need? 11.5-point favorites at home against Southern Methodist University, SMU. Will they give them a game, yes or no? Braylon Edwards.
I'm taking Eric Dickerson's former college, and as an alum, I'm taking Eric Dickerson. I'm going with SMU. I think Cincinnati is due for one of these, and it always happens every year. The team that you talk about getting up there, moving up, what are you going to do with them? They play themselves right out of it. This is the week it happens. Cincinnati, see you later.
Maz?
Pony Express, they're going to undress the Bearcats. It's over.
Chevy Will.
We put the pressure on him. Look at him.
So I was looking at this earlier. Me and the boys in Midtown were talking about this one. SMU, they've been putting up some points, not going to lie. But we believe it's time for a statement win for Cincinnati. I know it seems like that, but I really feel like they're going to pull it off. So as a statement win, we're going with Cincinnati.
Look, people are already calling you over there, Chevy Will.
See,
they want
right
those
now.
Blazers. Look at that.
They're like, you're full of it.
That's right. All right, guys. Oregon on the road at Utah. Utah is a 3-point favorite if it smells like a rat and it smells like a stinky number. Usually it is a stinky number. Braylon, what do you say?
I watched Oregon play against Washington State last Saturday night. I didn't see anything special out of those guys. Thibodeau actually just looked okay. I don't think he's the number 1 player in the country as well. I'm taking Utah. I'm going with Utah.
Maz?
I'm taking Scott Mitchell and the Utes.
You gotta. How do you not?
Go with the Utes.
How do you not? Chevy Will, Utah, a 3-point favorite against Oregon.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to have to go with Oregon. Not going to lie.
Got to do it.
I'm not
mad at that at all.
Taking the points. I mean, this is it, right? I mean, this is it for Oregon. If they want to make the playoffs, just get through this game. Obviously, you got Oregon State at the end of the year, but we'll see what happens.
Oregon State's pretty good.
Let's continue on here. Oklahoma, fresh off their loss last week against Baylor, a 3.5-point favorite at home against Iowa State, where their goals are not to win the Big 12 championship.
Be good people.
They just want to be good people. They don't care about winning championships.
Yeah, Oklahoma's going to blow Iowa State out. I think Oklahoma's going to win by 20 or more.
Look at that. Big one there, Baz.
I like Matt Campbell. I like where he's going. I'll take the Cyclones. Iowa State wins that game.
Have you liked him all year, though?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
I do like
him. He wanted him to be the Lions coach.
I understand.
He wanted him to be the Lions coach.
Trash all year. It's not about having it down here. They were supposed to be good, and they suck.
I'm taking Iowa
State. We thought they were.
Yes, that's right. 3.5-point favorite, Chevy Will.
No, man. We're going with Oakland. Like Braylon was saying, I think they're going to blow them out. I was thinking probably by at least 3.5 touchdowns.
Statement game there for Oklahoma. All right, guys, let's get local now.
I'll bet you a Blazer on that game there, Will.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I feel like we should do the Michigan game first and save Michigan State for the last because it's a bigger game. Yeah. Michigan at Maryland, Michigan, a 15-point favorite. Braylon?
Michigan's not going to cover.
So you're going with Maryland.
Michigan's going to win. Michigan won't cover.
Maz?
Come on, Maz. We're connected at the hip today, man.
All right, I'll take the Terrapins with
Oh, there we go.
Chevy,
There we go.
Will,
There
what do
we
you
go.
say? Is there any Michigan backers here?
So, I mean, like, I'm going with Michigan covers the spread like garbage. So, I mean, we got to go. I'm going with Maryland.
Ooh, going with the Terps. Oh,
I started something.
yeah, right?
Terps or
man.
the Terps?
All right,
Let's do
guys,
it.
last game in college. We're going to go Michigan State on the road at Ohio State. The Buckeyes, a 19-point favorite against Michigan State. Spartans not getting much respect, but do they from you, Braylon Edwards?
I've been nothing but respectful all year to Michigan State.
Clearly.
Man. Don't you guys forget
Except
that.
1 week, maybe.
Clearly.
Even that week, I was respectful, and they did
He
what
didn't
I
say
said.
nothing wrong.
I did what they said they were going to do. Ohio State blows them out. Like, I think they take the spread and even more. Like, I've been wrapping myself around this game. I've been watching it. Ohio State's going to blow them out.
Maz?
Sparty on. I'm going with beer. I think Michigan State can maybe pull the upset here.
Everyone talks about
How's that sound?
2015. Only difference, it's not raining this year.
That's okay.
Chevy Will.
Don't forget
Ezekiel
about that.
Elliott ain't there either.
They didn't use him, so
I
it didn't
know.
matter. They got Mayan and they have
I know.
Travion.
I don't think they're gonna get blown out at all. You know what? You guys are gonna. I'm going Spartans and the points in Columbus.
MSU. All right. So just a recap for Will, who went 10-2 last week. In college, he's got Alabama, Cincy, Oregon, Oklahoma, Maryland, and MSU. Let's go to the NFL side now, guys. 6 games in the NFL. The Buffalo Bills, a 7-point favorite at home against the Indianapolis Colts. We'll start with Chevy Will. We'll go Chevy Will first.
I'm going Bills at home all day. I feel like this is the time of the year where that topper part of the herd starts separating themselves from the lower part. This is going to be, I think, a closer game than people think, but at the end of the day, I think the Bills are going to end up pulling this one off all day.
Maz.
This is almost a home and home because they're going to play a rematch in Indy in a couple of weeks. Hard Knocks got me hooked on the Colts. I'm riding the wave. Give me the horseshoes.
Braylon.
I'm taking Colts away, and then I'm taking Bills away in 2 weeks. I'm taking the Colts in this one.
Packers on the road at the Vikings. Green Bay, a 1.5-point favorite, nearly a pick 'em there on the road at Minnesota. Will, what do you got?
These NFC North divisional games never go the way that people expect them to go. Like, this is going to be a close game until the very end. You got who's the better closer between the two teams. It's pretty easy to figure out. So we're going to go with the Packers, obviously, on the road.
Pack. Maz?
I'll take the home dog. Give me the Purple Gang. I'll take the upset here. I like the Vikings to win this game.
I think Minnesota's a lock to win this game for whatever
I love
reason. Braylon?
I don't know what the hell you guys are smoking. I'm taking
Talk some sense to me, man.
Where are they passing out this free weed? Like, where's this weed that they're passing out? So I didn't get any. I didn't get any, and I'm glad. I'm sticking with the Packers.
I didn't get any, and I'm
Packers
glad.
have been the best team in the NFC over
I
the
love them.
past 7 weeks
I picked
in a
them
row.
to win the Super Bowl.
Well, good. I'm picking them to win
Vikings
today.
this week.
I'm picking them to win today.
Game of the week in the NFL. Cowboys on the road at Kansas City. The Chiefs, a 1.5-point favorite. Will?
This was the hardest one, I feel like, at all. This one, Cowboys, you know what? This is that time of the year where I feel like Patrick Mahomes just starts becoming like Superman. He's like, let me turn this on and get to where I need to be, which is the AFC Championship, Super Bowl. Chiefs all day.
All right, KC. Maz?
NFC. Give me the Cowboys.
NFC, Cowboys. It sounds like Tiger Woods.
Can't trust the NFC.
Yeah, you can.
Braylon?
Hey, man, I'm going Patrick Mahomes. I've said it the last 3 weeks. I said that team sucks, but I said there's one person on the team that does not suck, and that's Patrick Mahomes. You got to stick with the guy that's worth $500 million.
That's usually
Makes
the case.
And part owner of the Royals.
Yeah, twice on
that
Sunday.
fast.
Guys, 3 more games, and then we'll get you out of here. Will selling some of those Blazers. Cardinals on the road at Seattle. Arizona, a 2.5-point favorite. This seems like a last-ditch effort for Seattle to save their season a little bit. What say you, Chevy Will?
You know what? I'm gonna have to go Hawks. I mean, they got the 12th man behind them. What's that Carl Murray guy? Non-mobile. Speaking of mobile, there we go again. Shout out to Alabama Roll Tide.
Amen to that.
It's gonna be the Hawks all day with the help of the crowd. I'm telling you.
Maz?
The Hawks screwed me last week. They got shut out against Green Bay, but that was Russell Wilson's first game back. They're home. Kyler's playing on one leg. You know what? I'm done with the Hawks. Give me the Cards to win that game.
Look at that. Braylon?
I can't agree with the guy that said Roll Tide twice in the span of 5 minutes, so I'm going with the Cardinals.
All right. Guys, 2 more here. Steelers on the road at the Chargers. Los Angeles is 6-point favorite against Steelers coming off their tie with the Lions. Will?
We got another one of them. Is that Carl Rudolph guy playing?
Mason Rudolph?
Mason,
yeah, Carl Mason.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
Same thing.
Mason Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. One of those.
Listen, if this guy, Christmas is coming up, so it's going to definitely, not for them, though. I'm going with the Chargers all day. I think the Steelers just look like garbage. If you tied, the Cardiac Cats, one of the best teams in the NFC North, then you're definitely not pulling off a win against the Chargers.
Maz?
Chargers all day.
I like the Chargers to win the game. I like the Steelers to cover.
Braylon.
Give me the Steelers.
Steelers for both.
All right, guys, final game here. Lions on the road at Cleveland. Is this the week? The Brownies, an 11.5-point favorite. Chevy will.
I'm going to keep it going. I mean, you guys already know what my pick's going to be. We got the Lions all day. They haven't lost a game in 2 weeks, so we're just going to keep the streak going.
Maz?
Give me a break.
Cleveland.
Give me the Browns.
Braylon.
I'll choose the team I played for.
Cleveland.
There you go.
Look at that. All right. Hey, Chevy Will, thanks so much, man. Again, Bills, Packers, Chiefs, Seahawks, Chargers, and Lions. Go sell some of those Blazers. 2 truckloads just dropped off at Les Stanford Chevrolet. Go see Will. Give him a call. This segment sponsored by Les Stanford Chevrolet. Find him today. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com. Call him 313-565-6000. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Find new roads. Chevy Will, thanks so much. We'll be right back. 2 special guests in studio. We'll tell you why coming up next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Hey, it is Joey from Woodward Sports, and we are here with the winner of our 10K Kick for Cash. Victor, how does it feel, my man?
It's crazy. I didn't think I could do something like this, and I'm just thankful for everything that came my way.
And you're here with all the seniors. Pep rally, everybody make some noise. This got to be the best thing, especially knowing that you won $5,000 for the school as well, that you're going to be donating back to them.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm so thankful for everything that's happened to me.
And who do you want to thank for this one?
I'll thank you and Woodward Sports and everybody here.
And of course, $5,000 going to Victor, but the other $5,000 Woodward Sports going to be donating to the Dakota Athletic Department. How does that make you feel, Adam Demarest?
Let me put it this way. It's the best fundraiser I've ever done in my life. I didn't have to do anything for it. You guys provided that opportunity for Victor. And I will tell you, Joey, his mom called this morning, exhilarated, and said it helped his self-confidence so much for you guys to have done something like that for him. So my hat's off to you guys as well. But thank you very much, because it will definitely be well used. Well, we'll use it for equipment. We'll use it for supplies that isn't covered through the necessity things. Like we have a budget that covers basketballs, whistles, things like that. What it doesn't cover is like what you see, the shoot away guns, or like the sleds that you see out here, volleyball machines and stuff like that. We just don't have a budget that does
So
that.
next state championship is on behalf of Woodward Sports.
Absolutely, Joey. We love having you guys.
Thank you, Woodward Sports.
So you see the video in there now in studio with us. Joey, introduce your friends here. Victor Kukarov and Adam Demarest from Dakota High School.
So Dakota High School, the big winners of the contest this year. So every Friday during football season, we do this big 10K kick for cash.
Sheesh.
And the only winner, Dakota High School, my boy Victor, and of course Adam. And it was unbelievable. You just saw the video right there. Being at that game, seeing him do it, when you see the game that just happened over the weekend, when a professional kicker can't even hit a game-winning kick.
Oh, man,
Hey, Victor, what was that like when you hit because you needed to hit a 10, a 20, and a 35-yard field goal to win the 10 grand. You hit the 10, you're like, okay, great. Then you hit the 20, you're like, oh, man, I may have a shot. When you lined up for that 35-yard field goal, what was going through your mind?
I was like, there's no way I'm about to make this. And honestly, I didn't have the confidence in myself, but I don't know how I did it. It was honestly a great experience.
You did it, and Adam, the crowd was going nuts. I mean, when he lined up, what were you thinking?
Well, to be honest with you, I missed the first 2, and then I turned around and he was back at the 35-yard line. I'm like, that's a 45-yard kick, and our field goal kicker had missed 2 earlier. And when I sat there, if you hear the video that I took, I was like, oh my gosh! I mean, when he kicked it, I knew it was good. You could just see the projectile going up through there, and he cleared it by a good 5 yards. So it would have probably been good from 50.
So is the other kicker fired now? Is the other kicker fired now?
I mean, you got to go out.
That's a great audition,
team, right? How about that? All right, what's next for you, Victor?
I'm just focusing on school and looking to get into college and just living life, having fun.
Amen to that.
That's a heck of an answer right there.
Yeah, hopefully that money goes to a good place. Absolutely. And Adam, give us a quick thought on Dakota, man. I'm a big fan of Dakota. I love the facilities there and long track record of success in the athletic department.
Well, we've been very blessed. I mean, we have 3,000 students, great academics, great students, great athletes, student athletes, I should say. Our success this last year, we put the football team into the state regional finals against Stevenson, who that was a very close game at the end, which Stevenson ended up prevailing in there. Our volleyball team was just in the state semifinals last night and lost a close match there to Skyline. We've got swimmers in the state finals, so we're very blessed. We've got great athletes, like I said, and the students, as far as academics, we excel in both areas, so it's a great school.
Awesome stuff. Best of luck to you. Victor, congrats, man. Give some of that money to your mom so she can hold on to it. You don't want to spend it all in one place, okay?
Don't spend it all on V-Bucks. Don't spend it all on V-Bucks.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break. Come right back. Maz has some videos of the day. We'll do it next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Did you know mortgage rates are still at generational lows? If you haven't refinanced your home loan yet, there's still time. Now is your second chance to refinance. You could lower your monthly payment, eliminate credit card debt, or even take cash out by using your home's equity. Call Hall Financial now to get started with your free 5-minute mortgage review. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Catch. Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Hey, gang, I want to let you know about Guardian Alarm. We all know a good defense beats a good offense. Well, you know what? No better defense than Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts and have been for over 90 freaking years. Are you kidding me? Over 9 decades of a track record. You throw that black and yellow sign out in front of your house, and you know what that means? Stay out. That's what that means.
You ain't
Stay
coming
the
here.
bleep out. That's right. You ain't coming in here.
Nah.
Guardian Alarm, local security, local 24/7 local monitoring. Of course, you can control your lights, your temperatures, detect smoke, carbon monoxide, lock and unlock your doors. All you got to do is call this number, 1-800-STAY-OUT. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts.
That's what Seton Hall told Michigan last Wednesday. Stay out.
Stay off the glass.
Get that weak stuff out of here.
Matt's bottom line videos of the day. You got one.
I got 2, and they're beautiful. And they both happen to be on today's date. One was a disaster, but everyone knows it. It was today in 04, Malice at the Palace.
The Pacers have played a very intelligent game tonight. Then Wallace is fouled, and Wallace did. Wallace right at our chest. This has potential to be serious if they don't get between. Wallace upset. Players trying to hold each other off. Steven Jackson to Rasheed Wallace trying to be peacemakers. Now Jackson yelling. Wallace still going. You need the coaches in there to get him away. Jackson challenging Derek Coleman. Somebody should just get Jackson out of quickly as possible. The problem is, if Wallace is ejected, I'm not sure. He'd have to walk past the Pacer bench to go. Now Artest has jumped over the scorer's table and is trying to get down to the bench. Artest is in the stands. Oh, this is awful. Fans are getting involved. Steven Jackson's in the fans. Rasheed Wallace going into the stands. The security trying to somehow restore order. Fans and players are going at it, and the players trying to help each other out.
Where's Charlie? Here comes Charlie.
This is a
Who's Charlie?
Charlie's the guy that got abused at the end.
Try and get the other players out because the fans have come involved.
Oh my!
Ooh-wee.
Oh my!
Steven Jackson slugging people.
If you guys haven't seen the Netflix special
see it.
on Malice at the Palace, Make sure you check it out. This one means a lot to me. I was at this game, 1979, broke my heart, but it kind of changed the Giants going forward after this day.
Okay.
It's the miracle at the Meadowlands. Little Tommy Mazawey was there.
Wow.
Play and the clock winding down below that. As the clock winds out on the Philadelphia Eagles, a game they thought would project them into a possible wild card position. It would bring them 7-5 had they won. But a late interception by the Giants will preserve a Giant victory. An upset win as the Giants lead 17-12. We're inside 30 seconds. The Eagles have no timeouts. Wait a minute. Here's a free foot. I don't believe it. The Eagles pick it up and Ermanni Edwards runs it in for a touchdown. An incredible development. Just like the opening game of the season when the New England Patriots were running the game out against the Washington Redskins. A fumble. This is the most astounding development. This is even more unbelievable.
Look at Pizarchik bump into Larry
Oh
Johnson.
my God.
I mean, come on.
Are you kidding
Just
me?
kneel down. It's over.
Are you kidding me?
Anyway, the Giants cleaned house after this game. Giant tickets, Giant season ticket holders, the next game were outside Giant Stadium burning their season tickets.
Unbelievable.
George Young came in as the general manager because Wellington Mara had seen enough. They cleaned house. He brought in Ray Perkins. Ray Perkins takes us to the playoffs. He leaves for Alabama. In comes Bill Parcells. The rest is history. The Giants are on. Here's the kicker to the whole story. I'm in the upper deck watching this game with my dad, my Uncle Frank, God rest his soul, and my cousin Laura.
Of course.
2 minutes to go. My dad's like, all right, let's go. I'm like, nah, Dad, I want to finish it. No, come on. We got to get out to the parking lot.
You pissed
I'm
your dad
on the escalator going down, and the escalator's huge from the upper deck. All of a sudden, you just hear this. That's all you hear from the crowd.
What the hell was that?
Oh.
Is that what you heard?
Whoa.
70,000 people sounded like that?
I can't get the... I couldn't... I had to get to the car,
The
put
hell
on the
was that?
radio, and hear poor Jim on the radio tell me what happened to the game. And I was saying, Dad, why did we have to leave, Dad?
You gotta tell me what
Why
happened.
did we have to leave?
my
on the escalator.
Braylon, get us out of here. We got to go. Let's save Maz from himself here.
Yo, check this out, man. This is 5 good days. We are back on track. This is Woodward Sports. We are kicking butt and taking names. You hear Maz?
It didn't sound like a whoa.
I tell you like this. I can't wait to see that game tomorrow. Michigan State and Ohio State. A lot is going to happen this week. Cincinnati plays SMU. A lot can happen with the shakeup of the Big Ten. The college football playoff. Just enjoy sports this weekend. You know what? Don't do anything. Just relax. Sit on the couch. Watch sports all weekend. It's going to be a great weekend. Sit back, relax, enjoy, and know on Monday, Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line is coming in hot for you, baby. I'm Edwards. That's Ermanni. Fish, Alex, and that's the big guy on the couch, Maz. We love you. We'll see you guys on Monday.
Peace.
We're out.
Ehlers from Scheifele and Connor at 13:57 in the third. Speaking of Connor, here's McDavid. Beat him out. Shoots and scores. He's done it again. Coast to coast. And this game is tied.
Are you absolutely kidding me? Talk about putting on the Jets once again, and this has been such a tight checking game, but watch this. Not to be denied. That inside move, put a puck to an area,